All right. And we are back at it. Uno más tiempo. You got your boy Chichoroncito, aka Chicharon, aka Chichi, here live today in the state of Nebraska.
Oh my god, I was literally thinking Nebraska when you said that. Yo, what up though? It's your boy Akira, aka DIY, aka I don't have any more DIYs. Coming to you live from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico!
What's up? It's your boy Kobe here from Colombia. I'm doing some hard cocaine this week, so I might be a little out of it. So just bear with me.
Sniff and pass it.
Killmonger back in the house. My ears are bleeding after that awful intro, but you know, it's fine. We're here. Let's
We're
go.
a happy group where we love each other here. Y'all, once again, it's getting a little overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. How are you guys feeling about the amount of love we're getting? Like, it's
Honestly, I'm having a hard time shopping at my local supermarket.
I can't get.
I'm a
chicken
celebrity.
nuggets from McDonald's without fucking
Yeah,
getting run
it's,
over by a bus.
Getting a little too much for me. I don't know if I can handle it.
This
Yeah.
little girl was telling me about very inappropriate things from our previous podcast, and I was like,
She was saying,
your parents
well, if
shouldn't be
I
letting you.
open an OnlyFans, I was like, whoa.
She actually asked me for Gabe's number. It was weird. I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
So you're
What kind of arena?
He was in the arena. He was in the arena.
He's there. I'm watching. Y'all, but thank you guys so much for the love. We're back here again, actually being consistent, you know?
Amen.
Second week in a row. And our topics for today. First one, fire. Thank you, Budebi. Budebi?
Yeah, Budebi. Yeah, you said
From
that right.
Nevada. Wow. Thanks, Budebi, for that topic. Budebi. Appreciate you, Budebi.
One more time.
Budebi. I love it.
And second topic was female rappers. And
It was not.
It wasn't female
It
rappers.
wasn't. I think.
But
it was
that's the
obligation.
third. That's the third option.
It's actually the third one. Yeah.
Damn, okay. So obligation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, my bad. Obligation is the second one. I mixed up the two. Okay, I see. Yeah, obligations coming from Marcel in Florida.
Marcel.
Very
Gracias,
nice.
señor.
Very nice.
Gracias.
Wow.
And I have a distribution from Cassandra in Wyoming.
You actually have chemistry, I think, from Cassandra, no?
It was actually obligation. It was actually obligation.
So just,
If you don't recall,
I knew this would happen, so I wrote it down, y'all. I wrote it down. This is it.
If you don't recall, we played rock paper scissors shoot specifically for obligation versus
Right,
distribution.
it was chemistry. It was chemistry, obligation, and fire. You guys. Those are the three topics for today.
Wait, what happened to female rappers? What happened to that?
You said you didn't want to talk about it. You said you didn't feel like talking about it.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
But shout
Okay.
out to Esquire from Ecuador for offering female rappers, just not doing it this week.
I thought that was Marcel.
No,
That was
Marcel,
Esquire.
obligation.
Oh god.
Yo, guys, we gotta keep our fans straight. We can't just be out here
Like
giving
we
men.
said, we
We're
did say
overwhelmed.
We're
We're overwhelmed.
It's too
We are
much.
overwhelmed.
Guys,
You're right.
Chill the fuck
We're
out.
overwhelmed.
You're right. You're
We're getting
right.
confused here. All right, so chemistry, obligation, and fire. It looks like I'm in a hell pit right now. It's just red light therapy. Just soaking in my mitochondria.
Not working at all.
It is.
Not
I'm energized.
working at all.
I'm energized. Can't you tell? But fire. Have you ever burnt yourself alive or thought to burn yourself alive?
If I was going to
Oh.
kill myself.
That's the worst way I would go about doing it.
No. You gotta peep the vision. I've told all of this to you guys separately. I definitely have. But
Now it's
I
public.
would go to the Empire State Building. I would douse myself in kerosene. I'd light myself on fire, and I'd jump from the top floor screaming, "Flame on." and that's how I
Some
want to go.
fantastic Four shit.
Would there
I
be a
mean-
message behind it, or it's just
No.
hey?
Nope. And
To
I,
me, to
the
me,
worst
it
part
would
is I don't
No.
think anyone would hear me. No one would
The
hear
message,
me.
No,
the
no,
message
no.
behind it, the message behind it would be to finally make a good Fantastic Four movie because they're all crap.
I did it.
it only actually
Wait,
works.
wouldn't you
if
blow off
you-
though? Like the wind and you falling, wouldn't you just go
Not
out like a
only would the
candle?
fire go out, I would die before I hit the bottom.
Yeah.
And no one in New York City would hear me from that high. It's a terrible idea.
Do you
but
want
it's
me to
one that I've been
record it,
rocking with.
live stream it?
Nope.
No.
I just want to see if people would give a fuck. That's it. I want
Body
to see
cam
when I hit the
footage?
ground.
I'm actually slightly frightened at looking up at buildings just because of that reason. Like I'm always afraid of seeing someone just jump off a fucking skyscraper. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Don't
But
look at
you know, I really think the fuck up part of it would be that like a person would jump and niggas would be like, "Fuck!" Like that really caused a lot of property damage. It wouldn't even be like this
my
person.
Tesla. Are you
Yeah,
fucking
legit.
kidding me?
Legit,
The
legit,
repairs.
bro. This is messed up my commute for the day. Fuck off. Like that's all people would care about.
That's true.
Can you imagine the cleanup too? That must be just awful. It's a massive.
I don't know
mess
actually.
on
Are you
the sidewalk.
splatting or are you just breaking?
Wait,
You're definitely splatting.
You're
You're
splatting.
splatting.
You're
There's gonna be-
splatting.
Splatting as fuck.
Like you're turning
Some-
into like tomato sauce all
Yeah.
over
I
sidewalk.
Is that because of the head or body?
Depends where
the.
you how you
It's
land.
because it's because of
all
the
of it,
height.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how high up you jump from. So if you're jumping from a skyscraper, that's just goo.
But I mean, Gabe,
That's
just
just
imagine,
goo.
Gabe, just imagine if you pencil dive off the top of a building. I mean, your legs are going through your throat.
I'll
at
just
that
throw-
point.
I'll just throw a fucking break the water. Throw a rock before. Just break the concrete real quick.
Yeah,
and just
it's
let
not
it
gonna
absorb
work.
your
Yeah.
shock.
Okay.
Not gonna work.
Y'all
This
be
guy.
thinking on these limited belief shit. I'm just here. I'm gonna prove a point.
In the arena.
You'll see.
We know.
You
We
should.
know.
You'll
No,
see.
you should prove this.
You'll see. First person to jump
I'll
off
show
a
all of you.
skyscraper.
Oh my god! Actually,
Wouldn't it
no,
be
I've
worse?
seen-
Wouldn't it be worse to like survive it though? Like, imagine if you like made the
Yes,
commitment, did it,
absolutely.
and then it like
Not if you
You-
actually
you-
survive it though. What if you have a fucking teleportation hole? You just throw it down and you just enter.
But I'm
it.
saying, like, imagine. Okay, but I'm not talking, some fake shit. I'm saying, imagine if you wanted to commit suicide and then
Don't you just go to jail after that? Like if you
I don't know what would
if
happen.
you
to
attempt suicide and fail, don't you go to like either a mental
Oh.
institution or jail?
I would
You don't go to
assume some type of
jail.
I think
mental
it's
institution.
dependent though. Like if you're hopping off a bridge, I think it's illegal to be on that bridge, right? Jumping.
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
shit?
Jumping off. Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like jumping off like a skyscraper is probably like.
Yeah,
illegal.
just getting on the roof or something. That's already
Yeah.
illegal.
Like you're not
there.
supposed to be
You're
doing
getting-
that.
Imagine that you hating your
That's
life enough
fucked.
to jump, and then you surviving, and then being like, "Damn, now I got."
Lock me up.
now
Lock me
now
up.
I'm in debt. now I'm in
Yeah.
debt.
Yeah.
You can't walk, you can't do anything, you can't eat, and you're in jail.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Holy
That's
shit,
I mean, like,
bro.
like you've heard of those people who like try to kill themselves, like shoot themselves in like the face or whatever, like shoot themselves in the head, thinking, oh, they're gonna die, and they survive, and just like half their face is missing.
Yeah.
Like that's like the part where I'm just like, bro, that's just wild.
There's
Nah,
I
that's
think
when
we'll
you
get,
just reload. You
there's
reload
too
and
much
shoot again.
risk in that.
It's just too much.
I don't.
No,
fuck
I mean,
with
you
suicide.
wouldn't think though, right? Putting a gun, like shooting yourself in the head, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's gonna get the job done. Nope, you did it wrong somehow, and you're still
The
alive.
first time.
Damn.
Yeah.
We do, however, we don't promote suicide here on this channel.
No.
We love everyone. And if you ever have an issue, please call in when we have a number that you could call into.
Or talk to someone close to you.
Yes,
know.
but for real.
Yeah.
Or talk to someone who can help you. There's suicide
Yeah.
prevention hotlines. We
Yeah.
can, yeah.
Amen.
But we got off topic. We were supposed to be talking kind of a little bit more about fire.
About fire. I would just like to add, if you do that whole Empire State Building thing, you got to wear one of those squirrel suits, so at least you can fly like a little bit, like
That's
get some distance.
true.
in
No,
the
I want to
city.
go.
Touche.
I want to die. I don't.
But
It
you'll still
depends.
hit the ground. You'll still hit the ground.
If I'm
and
80
and especially with the fire and everything, it'll be good.
If I'm 80 and that's my way out, I think that's exactly how I'd like to die. Is just get a glider suit, just fucking soar above the mountains or some shit.
Bro, you would not. I think your likelihood of dying is probably smaller though. And that's the part you don't want. You don't want to be
That's
80
true.
and just
I'm gonna just get like
crippled.
rug burn. I'm gonna just
Yeah,
slide across the fucking.
Just-
me
Nah,
just
nah,
stuck.
rug burn.
You die from hunger from being stuck in a tree where no one can find you.
Nah, what you do, Gabe, what you do is you glide over the ocean into the sunset, and then you just, land wherever you do in the ocean and just drown or get eaten. And
That's
Oh,
the
that's the
scariest way.
worst.
I would
That
never
sounds
want to be
awful,
stuck in
too.
the ocean.
That's the
Please do not
absolute
anything.
worst.
That sounds
Anything
awful,
else.
too.
I would
Yeah.
never want to be in the fucking middle of the
That
ocean.
terrifies me to this day. That's
Holy
my
shit.
biggest fear. It's the
Imagine
reason I've never
floating.
gone on a cruise.
Oh my gosh.
I can't do it.
Well,
I
cruises are not for
The salt. I already oversold my
regular
chicken. Imagine
people.
that shit, bro. Imagine the fucking salt.
No, you'd be fine. You're used to
I'm
it.
used to it.
Your body can just soak that shit in real quick.
I'm thriving. My fucking brain power is like, I just figure out how to build a boat out of thin air.
You solidify the salt. You
For
build a boat out
context,
of salt.
when I cook, I just put way too much salt every fucking time, and then I have to eat it, and I suffer and dehydrate, and I'm sick for the week.
And we're not talking like oh, this is salty. It's like this is
like-
you can't eat this. You literally cannot eat
Unedible.
this.
Yeah,
Oh my
learning,
God.
learning.
Yeah, no, hey, your second go around was great. By the way, you're in Nebraska and I'm in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Can
Yeah,
I get a
can you-
little ooh? Where you at, Kobe? You already said where you're at. Okay.
All right. We're supposed to be talking about fire.
Can someone else
okay?
make a goddamn fucking comment about fire? Shit. Fire. Do you think it was? Wait, how was fire created or claimed to be created? They say cavemans do it, but how the fuck did they come across it? And if we don't know the story, let's create the story of how we think caveman came across fire.
Well, I thoroughly believe in the SpongeBob theory of that episode of SpongeBob when I was a kid, when they created fire together, him and Patrick. That, I believe, is how fire was created.
Talk us through it. Talk us through.
Please, yeah, please. Someone needs
So,
it.
so basically, Patrick and SpongeBob found fire.
Underwater.
Yeah, they were underwater.
Okay,
As
cool,
you
cool,
know,
cool.
knee bottom.
Yeah.
There was a storm underwater. Lightning struck, hit a pile of wood, and turned into fire underwater. They then proceeded to put things in the fire and cook them and then eat them. And then they realized that fire cooks food and makes it taste better. So then Squidward found out that the fire also does this. And then they just all fought over the fire until it rained again underwater.
Underwater, yes.
Yes.
And then the fire went out. And then they didn't have fire anymore. But that's really how fire was created.
How did they make the burgers?
At the Krusty Krab,
Right.
there wasn't the Krusty Krab didn't exist in this episode. This was a prehistoric SpongeBob.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's totally fine.
Yeah, Gary
But
the
doesn't-
Snail was like 53 feet tall.
If we're going
just
by
kept
that
running over
theory, if we're
SpongeBob.
going by the SpongeBob theory, but it's not SpongeBob and it's real life, and say lightning strikes on this fucking piece of wood and fire starts, what now? How do you repeat that process?
I don't know how it feels to be that stupid, so it's hard for me to like.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not even trying to be a dickhead. I'm like serious. Like, you have to think about how like you don't understand this thing, and then this thing happens, but I don't know. Do they talk? Like, what do we look like as people, as human beings during that time period? To be like, I don't even know what that would look like. They always tell us that you're like they're not smart.
First
you're
they made their
Neanderthal.
hypothesis, then they tested it, and then they fucking had fire. I don't fucking know.
I can't imagine being that dumb that I can't figure it out. So it's hard for me.
I
to...
couldn't figure that shit out right now.
Oh, okay.
Fire?
Well, then if you're so smart, you can tell us how they came up with it. Then
Word, the fuck?
it's just smarty pants. I know everything.
No, I'm saying that I can't imagine being a Neanderthal, so it's hard for me to be able to like think in that manner.
Could
Like,
you
Oh, yeah.
think of how to start a fire right now without a lighter and a match?
I
a
could-
magnifying glass and a piece of wood?
And
Yeah.
technology? Magnifying glass?
The sun. You need the sun
Technology?
too.
A magnifying glass, daytime, and a piece of wood.
Magnifying glass? You can't do that. That's not...
Yeah, you can.
of your time. What
Have you not?
magnifying
Have you
glass
not?
did
Have
they-
you not?
Okay, so first you
Wait, hold on.
invented the
Have you
optical
not seen
lens.
Toy
You
Story?
invented you invented glasses before you built the fire. My bad. My bad. Okay.
Wait,
Nah.
I'm not. That's considered like not.
Nah,
That's
so
considered
Oh, you
There's
mean from
nothing.
scratch?
There's a fucking leaf on a branch.
so what you do is
and a
right.
dinosaur right next to you, bro.
I know how to do this. I watch Survivor. I've been watching Survivor, so I know what they do, right? They take
Got
a
it.
twig and they put it in like a fucking big ass fucking stick.
Then they
And they put-
rapidly just.
They put like 2 ropes on the side of it and they fucking go like this until it heats up and then they start throwing little fucking kindling on it until
And blowing.
like smoke's coming and everyone's blowing all
Yeah.
over it. And then eventually it just sparks into fire and I'm
But
amazed
what
every time.
motivated you that much? Because you know how long you have to do that for. Like, what motivate? Like, was it just boredom that just got
Survivor.
them?
I'm cold outside. It's cold. Outside.
Survival. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
it's cold
survival.
outside.
But they were already used to that.
Yeah,
they
but-
already knew the cold. Fire
doesn't
was a
mean
And
they
luxury.
like
they
it.
didn't. And they didn't.
That doesn't
like
mean they're like.
Yeah.
Fire was a luxury. It wasn't like fucking. That was like a 5-star
Because I-
hotel. They were like, I can't afford it now, but maybe in the future when I got a 401k or some shit. There's no way.
Because I'm used to the cold means I don't want fire. That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Imagine aggressively going like this for fucking 32 days to find
It
smoke.
doesn't
And
take
then
that
one.
long. Bro.
Yeah, it's like a couple minutes, dude. It's not
Yeah.
like,
But imagine the trial and error to get there. What do you It's like 10 minutes.
I mean, dude, if we
on
go
a
back in
good
time,
day. On a good
dude,
day.
if
It's
we
not
go-
like he has an iPhone, bro. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing else going on in life.
yeah. What else is he doing? Also, how many things can be boiled down to that exact thing? Why the fuck does anything exist for that matter? Why did anyone put effort in to do anything? Like what?
That's true. So that makes you
Literally,
think.
That's not a bad idea. But I think it's just like, yo, what else do you have to do? What reason do we have not to try this?
I don't know. What would you have been doing if you were a kid, man, and you didn't feel like fucking, and you were procrastinating? You knew you should build the fire.
Jacking off.
hunting.
Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
think you would have
Hunting,
invented or
hunting.
discovered if you
My
were a
dick.
caveman? Hunting.
My dick. Blowjobs.
there's not a lot going on back then, Gabe. It's pretty boring.
Yeah.
I
It's-
think
it's
I'm
just trying to
building a
survive
house
back
out of fucking leaves or some shit. I might
You're
have
just-
invented.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. You're giving yourself so much credit. We're
Why are you
stupid.
building?
Fucking stupid.
Why are you?
Oh, no, he did say something.
Uh?
You don't build a house and think that's
And
gonna work.
I build a
so.
mansion before you know it.
Why are you building a
just
house?
All
Bro,
of that
that's
all I
out.
see
I just
are
knocked
your glasses.
all of. I just knocked
What does
all
it
of my
happen?
lights out. I just knocked all my lights out with my foot.
Short-term
Gabe, Gabe.
permission. What?
Chicharron, why are you building houses? That's a luxury. What are you even thinking about? Why are you
That's
doing
true.
that?
So I can burn it down with my fire.
Also, you're a caveman. You probably live in a cave, so you don't need a house.
Yeah.
How many caves were there though?
Enough. Dude,
I don't know. Enough for them to be called cavemen.
Do you think all cavemen were of like the like? Do you think there were like do you think there was a hierarchy of cavemen? You know
Yeah.
how you really think so?
Probably.
You think there was
But
like
not- but
a
not- but
prince? Ooh, shoot.
No, but it wasn't due to like status or anything. I think it was just due to who's the biggest, and he just like,
Yeah.
all right, I don't want to fucking. No one
Or
wants
like
to.
who's like the best hunter or
Yeah.
whatever.
See, like when I think
Yeah.
of cavemen, for some reason, I think it's very communal, and for some reason, like everyone works together, and there is no like social hierarchy because that's like a construct that we know. Like that's
If they weren't people, dude, then I would agree. But dude, I feel like men throughout time have always wanted power.
You know what? That's a really valid point. Like, there's never an example of like men not seizing power. That's what I always talk about. I think that sometimes that nature,
Oh my
like,
God.
is human nature.
Yeah,
Our
even
human
but
nature is
even in animals, dude. Like you have like the leader of the pack of lions, like the king of the pride lands, and like the head fucking bear. And if you want to be the fucking guy, you want to have sex with fucking the people and create little babies, you got to fucking kill the big guy. Like you have to.
So, is there any example within any species where there isn't a leader, like there isn't a head?
Yeah, penguins, dude. They're bitches, dude. The men sit on the eggs. And the
No, I
women
still
don't.
think.
Oh,
They're
that's
still-
come on now. That's not. Come on now.
He just got canceled.
Hey, welcome
Lock
to
me
the
up.
Lock him
arena.
up.
Welcome to
Lock
the
him
arena.
up.
Uh,
Let me just think.
I
Well,
don't
so
think
these animals have to have some sort of intelligence, though, right? Or they don't
Yeah.
have to.
No, they would have to. They would have to.
Well, I mean, because like think about it, like insects, like ants, they have leaders, but like, would you say they're intelligent?
Yes.
Or like
extremely.
bees and stuff? Would you
Yeah.
give them?
They're
You would?
intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But there's a hierarchy within all of this.
Right. But I also think like you see even if well to go to the point of is there a hierarchy in bees?
Yeah,
Queens,
the
isn't there?
queen.
Queen.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
like
they all do
wasps.
work.
How about those little friendly bees that don't
No, yes, all bees. Oh,
Have a queen, bruh.
You
Yeah.
Sure? You sure? Those little
Yeah.
bumblebees that don't actually do anything to you? They just nip on the
yeah,
honey
they
and
have a
shit?
queen.
Carpenter bees, but they don't
Yeah,
work
but-
together.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, like, I think like there's only a hierarchy when like lifespan is longer or something. I think, like with bees, they die fucking after they live for 2
Ooh.
minutes.
Flies don't have a hierarchy.
Is that because of a lack of intelligence, though?
Okay.
That's
So that's what I'm
'cause
saying.
they
There
die
has to
in
be some
fucking
sort of
2
intelligence.
seconds.
So I guess I should. Yeah, I guess I should preface it.
So
as,
like, if there's no
an
intelligence, then there's no hierarchy. That's what we're saying.
I don't want to make that claim without. I'm asking. I wonder if there's any intelligent life form that also doesn't abide by like this hierarchical system.
Isn't it just like the food chain? Technically, we're at the top of the food chain. We kill all the animals. I mean, our whole like thing is a fucking hierarchy. Like it goes down to like in the ocean, the biggest thing eats the smaller things. It's like
Between groups that makes sense?
Yeah, but
Between
we're talking about
groups,
like
within a group.
individual groups. Yeah.
well, I don't think clownfish are out there fucking killing each other. I think
maybe
they're
dolphins. Do
Bro,
you guys know
imagine getting slapped
anything
by a
about
clownfish.
dolphins?
And also, aren't it's the females? The females are the like the dominant ones in that relationship.
Yeah, which one? Which
So,
one?
Clownfish, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Also, they are asexual, which is the other thing.
they
Is
can
it
just do
asexual
whatever they want.
or no, not asexual. They can change from male to female and female to male. They can change back and forth.
Clownfish? I thought that was seahorses. Or
No,
Seahorses, I think,
seahorses
too.
give birth.
Oh.
Seahorses can give birth to the babies.
Men can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the male. Yeah. The
So does
male
that mean
seahorses give birth.
Nemo was the first like big transgender like fucking
bro, you want to get canceled so
Disney?
bad.
No, but for real, that
So
would be
bad.
like that would for real be like a thing.
He's already in jail. It's fine. He's
Wait,
already
what
in
do you
jail.
mean?
It's fine.
He's
Like,
talking
if-
Because,
behind
like,
bars.
This dude's in prison. He's like, y'all coming to prison too.
He's literally-
He's like extend my sentence.
Right. He's
I've
bored,
given
he's
up.
bored.
Give me life. Throw the book at me.
but you know, like nowadays,
I get what you're saying.
a lot of movies are like you could very tell it's directed like towards a specific audience, towards like a specific thing, a social.
Oh, like
movement.
they knew they were like the clownfish is like.
And they're like,
they're
we're gonna fucking do it way before anyone even realizes, and we're gonna do a transgender fish, and no one's even gonna realize. I mean, if you think about it, could you really tell me if Nemo's a man or a woman or a girl or a boy
Nemo.
based on their voice?
No, he's a boy.
Yeah.
You sure, dude? Are you
He's
sure?
a boy.
I'm
I
like,
don't remember.
yeah.
I mean, he had a
I'm-
pretty
So,
high.
when,
mean,
so
okay,
when the
didn't-
dad said,
Didn't his dad
"I love you,
call him
son,"
my son? Yeah. He said, my son.
I think
Was that not enough?
scratch. I think that meant he was a boy. I'm not sure.
Yo,
Or-
here's
or
a
was that-
circle,
or was
and
that
here's the
modern
square, and
dad?
Todd's like,
but wait.
He would not have figured out fire.
But wait.
He would not have
Wait.
figured out shit.
How eager was Nemo to go touch the butt?
The butt.
Yeah,
What?
a thick
Which
ass
means
booty.
he could.
That doesn't mean he's transgender, though.
I mean,
That just
yeah,
means he's gay.
curious. Yeah, he just means a curious little.
He might be a gay fish.
All right, so either way.
Or he's a trans fish. But since he's a clownfish, he can also change. So like he can be
No,
either
Todd,
one at any time.
The keys to your cell have been thrown away. Just so you know.
Yo, you're in
Your
prison
mouth-
by
your
yourself.
mouth-
There's no one else in there. No
Everyone
guards,
left.
nothing.
Solitary confinement. That's what you're
Fuck me up, fuck me up.
Oh my god.
No,
so crazy.
I guess there's a point in there somewhere in there.
I don't know.
Because
Yeah.
when you think about it, I feel like all mammals have some sort of hierarchy, right?
Absolutely.
Do you think that's fair to say? Right? All mammals have some sort of hierarchy, and then when it comes to insects, the ones that tend to live in groups have a hierarchy. The ones
Insects
that
specifically,
don't.
I know, are very like they abide by a hierarchy.
And I feel like most of it's literally just about size, power, dominance, and like
okay,
sex.
so why is that?
That's
Okay,
all.
No,
was
but that's not
driven.
true though.
why
That's
is
not
that
true,
a
though.
repeated pattern? Why do we think that's valuable or needed in?
Wait,
like,
what is?
just the idea of having this hierarchy? Like, does that? I feel like we try to exist, or our goal as humanity, maybe that's what makes us humans, is to like live in some harmony and not maybe have that. I think a goal is for us to not have that hierarchy, but is that unrealistic? Do we need that for something? Like, is it
Hey,
important
hold
to?
on. Wait, who has a goal for no hierarchy?
Isn't that kind of what we live for? We want to live like, I don't know, not have greed and power run the fucking world.
I mean, you
But
might
you're still
live
gonna have
for
some
that.
sort of hierarchy in some way. Like you're thinking of it in like a large scale. Like, aren't we talking about it in just in terms of like a smaller scale? Like, if you have like a family, there's a hierarchy in a family, right? So is that what we're talking about, or
But
do we
should
mean
there
like?
be? I guess that's
What's the
question.
importance of it since it
Yeah.
exists so often in nature?
And let's use the
Yeah.
family dynamic because
Yeah, I think that's good. But I think it goes back to like how
Nemo
we're
being
raised.
transgender.
Yeah, Nemo being transgender one, but also how we're raised. I mean, you're throughout time, you know, everyone. It's always been like the man is the provider, the woman is the caretaker, and I feel like that's the kind of stuff that we're breaking down more and more as time goes on. But that's like the hierarchy that we've known for, and like, or we've known for so long and have been like abiding by for so long that like, you know.
I think it's also funny that within that hierarchy, like women have done so much more and within it, and yet are not held to the same standard. So what develops that hierarchy, right? Like if it's based on what you do for your family, like maybe I can just speak for me independently, but like I feel like the women in my life do so much more for everyone than the men do, and I don't understand why they're
Damn.
not held to a. I mean,
Damn.
it's truthful. It's truthful.
Sorry, Akira's dad, if you're listening to this.
So the way I look at it is like when I grew up, my mom was more prominent in doing things that I was like actually visually able to see because like she was literally there with me all the time, providing, doing things, being there for me. But my dad was at work providing for me in a different way that I didn't really understand until I grew up. And I was like, oh, well, that's why he's gone all day. That's why I don't see him till 5 or 36 o'clock because he's at work.
But which
So
one's
like,
more valuable?
well, it depends. I mean, it depends. Valuable to
I think
to
the idea
what?
is that but everyone has their role though. I think they're both very valuable now.
Because it depends. Is it
Exactly.
valuable to molding me as a person? Probably, spending time with your parents is the best thing. I mean, and my mom was there, physically with me more. But then also, my mom wouldn't be able to do that if my dad wasn't doing that. So it's like.
So you recognize how they're both equally important, but that's not how that hierarchy is designed. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yes. Well, it's not. I feel like it is equal, but it's not viewed as equal. And it's not
Are
treated
men
as
where
equal.
we are strictly because of our strength? Is that? I feel like that's the only our physical.
Yeah, like when did it happen? Like when did that social hierarchy begin to exist where it was like men are providers for families and are just brute strength and women are supposed to take care of blah blah. Like when did that divide happen? Like that social divide is huge.
I think we go back to the Neanderthals, dude. I mean, the guys are going out there hunting for the food when the women are taking care of the kids in the camps.
Yeah,
Bro,
but
Even in that situation,
that's the
why
whole
is-
concept of
Go ahead.
that's the whole concept of hunter gatherers, right? Where the men went out to hunt and the women were the ones who were out gathering,
Berries
shrubbery, mushrooms, like the vegetables, you could say.
Use
Men
the same
were out hunting
use the same example for something like lions, right?
the same
Females
something
are
like
the ones.
lions.
Yeah,
but-
females are the ones who hunt
Yes,
Yeah.
for the pride of the pack.
but in that whole thing, that what's seen as more valuable is the fucking mating and creating new little babies.
Yeah,
Of the
that's honestly all the lions do.
But
Like the lionesses are the ones who care for them and teach them how to hunt. The lions are just going around just trying to reproduce, and that's literally like their main goal.
Do you understand then how much more valuable a female lioness is then?
They're equally valuable.
I mean, they're
but
equal. Yeah, because
they're not
the
treated
female
as
lioness
such.
wouldn't have anything to do if the male lion wasn't there to,
But if the
Sure.
female lion doesn't go out to hunt, male lion doesn't eat,
No,
I mean,
I
I mean,
The
understand.
not in all,
lion
not in,
dies.
but
But now
not
we're
in
doing
all
like the
cases.
whole
Yeah.
I mean,
which
I
came
could jizz
first, the
till I'm
chicken or
like
the egg.
12
That's what we're
pounds.
doing right now.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
That's a lot. You know what I mean? So
I guess I've never understood that social hierarchy if it feels as though they are like you contribute equally to both. You both contribute equally to within your family.
well, I mean, I don't think it's
multiple
gonna be.
families.
I don't think it's gonna be equal because that's gonna be dependent on the person. It's gonna be dependent on who you ask. So, like Todd was saying, it's gonna be different,
Yeah, it's
right?
perception.
It's not like it's equal. It's just the contribution is different from each person or each group. So so like in terms of like the lion one, from what we're saying, like it seems like the lion has the least. Like yes, he's contributing, but it seems like his contribution is like it's very minuscule compared to what the lioness is doing, and we can kind of agree on that. But like the lioness can't achieve her goal if the lion isn't there, and the same way the lion can't achieve his goal if the lioness isn't there. So they need each other. It's like it's a mutual symbiotic relationship.
So then our roles, do you think roles are essential? Do you think
That's what I'm saying. Why don't you just deconstruct that social hierarchy altogether and we just work collectively to make things happen.
I feel like that's what we're in the process of doing. It's just fucking. There's a lot of things stuck in the way things used to be.
And I also don't think that's ever gonna happen because people, like we even mentioned this earlier, they're people who are ambitious, which is a good thing, but they're people who want power, they want money, they want status. They're always looking at people who want to strive to, have more than their neighbors.
Where do those influences come from? I guess is what I'm always so confused by. Is like, where does the drive for power or the drive for money? Is it once you get in that role, recognizing the power that you have in it, or is it something that we've all innately have within us and decide whether or not to act or not act on?
I feel like you got to look in with yourself. Like, have you ever had ideas of like what you want your ideal life to look like in the future? Like, and does that require you acquiring power, talent, being better than other people to get where you want to be?
I mean,
I think I've always looked at that, and I've always thought to myself like, yes, I want those things, but I don't want those things at the expense of other people. And I think those two things can coexist.
Right. You say that, right? But I mean, if you really think about it, not everything, a lot of the things that we get or do in some way or form is at the expense of someone else.
Absolutely.
It may not be as severe. I mean, it may not like hurt them or anything like that, but it's at the expense of someone else, right? So let's say like, you're trying to get a job. Whoever gets that job gets it at the expense of everybody else who doesn't get that job. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing because, there's still other jobs those people can apply for. But, most of those things, everything is like at the expense of someone else. Let's say you're trying to catch a train or catch a taxi. There's a limited amount of space on that train. If the train is full, the people who aren't able to get on it, they're the ones who lose out. Obviously, there's another train coming, so it's fine. They may be late to wherever they're going or whatever. But I maybe it's more of like a limited resource thing where.
But then but then there's also the idea of like, Hassan, you work really hard to get where you want to be, and if someone works half as hard as you, why do they deserve that?
Exactly.
Why do they deserve that same position as you?
I guess there's recognition that that's going to happen anyway, and I don't have control over that.
So then, are you saying some people are more valuable than other people in this?
I guess I'm saying the exact opposite. I think
to Todd. I mean, Cody.
It's not them. It's not that someone's more valuable than other people, but someone might be more qualified or put more effort into a
what
specific
makes someone more
subject.
qualified though? Doesn't that make them more
Because
valuable?
because they invest more time in whatever, if you're looking at it as a job, if you have more experience and you have more dedicated
that's not
experience.
That's not really how
job.
the world works. That's not really how the world works.
Yeah, I know. Of course, you have to factor in who connections, and all this other stuff. But in a perfect world, the people who deserve the positions based on what they've done and the credibility they've built over time, you would expect for those people to be put in the positions that they want to be in. Like for example, if someone that works and you've been in class with works half as hard as you, and they get your job that you want over you, that's not a fair thing. If they get worse grades, they do everything at a slightly less level of you, why is that fair to you?
I guess I hear you, but I guess in my head, I think it should all just be flipped. I think that, like, even just thinking of maybe like within a standard, that like there shouldn't just be one person who makes the decision, but there's like we make decisions democratically. Like it's based simply on majority on the way that things go, and there's everyone from the top to the bottom, no matter what your position is, should have some form of input and or say, and should have some form of like.
But isn't that done through like representatives of like for example, if we work in a company, there's a leader of a finance department, and then all of you contribute to share your ideas, and then
That's
the
how it's
person who's
supposed.
on.
That's how it's
and
supposed to work. That's
Yeah, but again, then you're talking about human flaws. Like people are going to be able to get bought out for money. Like
I think the way that things are built into certain company, and I think in specific company structures right now, that it's almost like the same way like we just spoke about like Elon Musk, for example. Like it's we want the one dude and want to view him as the person who does all said work. Like you want the one guy that you can claim to be the genius in the way that society is set right now, despite that not being how that works. Like it's not like the dude came up with it all by himself. It's a group of people collectively, but we don't view the company in the sense of it's a collective. You view it as Elon Musk, Tesla, like those two go together. I think it should be viewed from a bottom-up approach. Is guess what I'm saying? Is,
well, I think that there are people who view it that way. Like at least for me, like yes, like I think the reason why we associate those two things together is because it's his company and he has his name on it, right? Like we can all say, oh, you think someone says Amazon, you think Jeff Bezos, but then like that's not gonna that Jeff Bezos wouldn't be as rich as he was, or that Amazon wouldn't work if there weren't people who worked for him. Like we know people who worked in those Amazon fulfillment centers and stuff like that. Like we know what those people.
I mean,
go
that's
through,
obvious
so.
to us, but if you're looked strictly just based
I mean,
on
I think it's obvious
media-
to most people though, but I just think people don't connect the dots or don't even
it's not
think
that
about it in that.
it's because of how we portray the company.
Yeah.
It's 100% about how you portray those people. You don't portray Amazon as a company of millions of people working
where
together.
have I heard of the lead fucking software engineer that fucking just made like I don't hear about that news. All I hear is about
It's the same thing with there's so many examples of them. It's like when you think Apple, you think Steve Jobs. You don't think about the millions of people that worked Jobs. And I'm not trying to take credit away from Steve Jobs. I'm saying just as important as Steve Jobs, there is no Steve Jobs without the people that helped him build.
But shrink that to anything, dude. It's like Justin Bieber.
I mean,
that's how I feel. That's exactly
Justin
how I
Bieber.
feel.
Justin
100%. Kanye West.
They
Justin
don't write
Bieber,
their music.
all of those
Soccer
people.
players have all the coaches in the world growing up. They have a bunch of players that help them get to where they are. They're talented.
So, but why doesn't it work like that?
Because people excel to the top. Like if Jeff Bezos, all the people that helped Jeff Bezos get to where he is, he's the one that sprung to where he was to build Amazon. And then he put the people in positions under him to help him to become successful. It's like it's like the idea of building a company. Most people that want to start a company, entrepreneurs, they have the idea, okay, I'm going to start a company. Once they get to a certain point, they can hire people that are smarter than them and surround themselves with people smarter than them to help them get better. And that's just how successful businesses work.
I agree with you. I think that you are just placing value in the wrong place. That's how I feel.
But I don't value the person that's Steve Jobs.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying as a collective, we put value in the wrong.
But it's like.
Well, I mean, I don't even think it's that we value them. I just think we just like I know what you're saying, and you're both right. But I just feel like I don't think it's that we value Elon Musk more than the people who are part of the company. I just think we associate the company with Elon Musk because he owns it and his name is on it and he's the face of the company. So everything about it is is focused on him. Like, yes, we know there are people behind the scenes who are helping him. Like that dude is not sending a space, sending astronauts to Mars or space or wherever on his own. Like, we know that there are
That's
people
exactly
in the
how he's portrayed.
But he's the celebrity.
right. But like
he's
sorry,
he's the celebrity of the
yeah,
thing.
like he's the face of it.
He's the
Like, you know
that's
what I
why
mean?
celebrities exist. Every celebrity is built of a team of people. It's not just one guy that just like
So why is
Like it's
why
kind of
is that
going
as
back
good?
down to
Why is
the-
that even okay? Yeah, I don't.
like
so
it's
why-
kind of going
it's
back
not
down
about
to
it's
the
not about being
representative
okay.
thing.
Yeah, but it's not about being okay or right or wrong. It's just how it is.
No,
And-
we know
but-
that, but like
but
we're
it-
questioning.
But
Well, how does
then,
it get to
but
that
okay,
point?
so then how do you reverse that? How do you what's the inverse, and how do you look at that? How do you look at it from a different way? Like what do you do when you see Justin Bieber? Instead of looking at Justin Bieber, you then recognize all the people that write his music. You recognize the people that do the beat. You recognize the people that
Bro, when
Birthday
CDs
him.
were out, the whole point of pulling out that pamphlet was to see how many people put in the work to help make the music.
How many people do you know wrote the fucking Avengers movies? You watch the credits, you can see
But
everybody.
that's
Who
what's
cares?
wrong. That's not who cares. Those are the people who we should be talking
Yeah, but my
about.
point is, who's sitting there reading those names unless you're the guy who worked on it? You're gonna hear about the Russo brothers, and
That's
that's
the
it.
issue.
That's my point.
Normal people, we don't recognize that
How
because
much?
we haven't.
How much attention do we have to give to all these people that worked on these things?
Hold on.
You don't have- Your attention is like your most valuable resource in the
Even
world.
let's flip it then. Let's say what I'm placing value in isn't just in manners of like being a face or being a celebrity or being the face of. I'm talking also in manners of like finances, like your value, where you put the majority of your money as a company, as an entity, whatever, should be in the people who make whatever is the most valuable product of the company. If your whole job is just to be the face of the company, I don't think that you should be making more money than the lead engineer who comes up with the software to be able to run the computer in the car in which you built.
Okay,
and
so
are
that's
credited for it.
so that's different. So that's like saying
It goes
That's
back to
not.
the point, though.
It's not.
because
It's where we're
I
placing
actually,
value.
I don't
Yeah,
know
no,
if there's more
because-
valuable there. I think that's opinion, though. I think like everyone's valuable in that situation.
But yeah, but also what you're saying is you're talking about social status versus income, like and how much money someone makes.
They go
That's-
hand in hand, dude.
Not at all. Not at all. Because you can have a social status and still make and still make and make a shitload of money, but also have no social status and make a shitload of money.
I don't see any company where that's applicable.
What are you talking about? Do you think any of the head engineers that work for Tesla are struggling for money?
Dude, I'm telling you that the people who make the computers, who come up with the things, who actually make the most tangible products, don't have as much or don't make enough money in that same scenario, despite playing a very important cog within the machine. That's how I feel.
So basically, you're saying you're saying
I'm not
that-
saying everyone should get paid $100,000.
right,
I'm saying
right.
everyone should get paid a reasonable amount of money that matches their contribution
You know
to the
this
final
what
product.
this
Yeah. So
kind
you're
of goes
basically
towards?
you're saying why does Elon Musk make more-
Communism, let's bring it back.
No, that's not-
Communism.
No.
Okay,
You're
whoa.
basically saying, why
Communism
does
doesn't
Elon Musk-
necessarily have to be a bad thing, though.
Why does Elon Musk make more money than
The
the lead
people that do the
engineer?
work.
Is that
The people
what
that do
you're
the
saying?
Because he has the most stock in the company.
Right. I agree with the son in that, like, they're all valuable, though. I feel like in some degree there should be.
No,
some,
I mean
like,
I think we all
equal-
agree
but,
with that. Though.
But remember, the lead engineer is making 10 times the amount that the fucking intern is making. So it's like he is getting paid on a scale of what he earns the company. There's just one guy at the top that earns more than everybody because he created the opportunity for that guy to even have the job
because
as a
he
head
sold his
engineer.
soul and he has a fucking
But we're also not
world-class
talking
wealth.
about, and this is becoming a lot less generalized and it's becoming a lot more specific, but it's also not just the pay scale, it's the size gaps between those groups of people. That's the bigger issue. And that's the larger conversation, is like you're talking about one person who can compete with NASA on his own private company because he makes that much money versus the dude who's a software engineer who makes whatever versus the dude who builds the actual fucking cars that we drive on the day-to-day versus what he makes. There's disparities within all of those like pay gaps. There's massive pay gaps between all those people, despite all being very important and valuable contributors to the overall process.
But fair. That's fair. But then you go back to then you can put the example of the men's versus women's U.S. soccer team. Why does the men's team sucks?
Yo, my
The
God,
men-
you keep picking.
But it's the same-
Most
but it's the
loaded
same-
stuff right
No,
now.
but it's the same thing. It's like the women get paid less because they don't make nearly enough money to get.
But that's
paid.
not
Right,
true,
but
though.
that's entertainment.
That's
though,
literally
too.
not even
That's a
true,
But
though.
but that's my
different-
point. You're telling Hassan saying the guy who builds for Chevrolet doesn't make as much as the head engineer for Tesla because Tesla makes so much more money, so there's more money to pay.
No,
that
no,
guy.
but no. Like all of this, we're talking about within one company or within one group of people. So don't compare what Chevrolet and Tesla are doing because that's not what we're talking about. Like that's going to be more about competition within the same industry. We're talking about within one company, right? Like one group of people. Is that what we're talking about? Because that's the whole point of this hierarchy conversation, right? We're talking about hierarchy within one group of people where everyone is working towards the same goal. But why do some people get more credit, or in this case, why do some people get paid more than other people, even though they're all working toward the same end goal? And some people are doing more hands-on work than others.
It's the same way as you would feel some type of way that someone's getting credit for the work that you did. Why does that disappear because I'm the leader of a company? Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. But
both very
But then what's the
valuable.
solution, though? What's the solution to that?
Communism.
What is the solution?
Some
Because-
form of communism. That's a genuine some form of. I was just thinking
But-
today, just
But
like
but communism wouldn't solve that problem. Communism would just eliminate. Wouldn't communism just eliminate that?
I don't know.
Tesla?
I don't
Isn't
know
that what
how
that
you.
would
I
do?
don't know how you dictate value because I think it's a opinion. There has to be some universal language that dictates how much value you're bringing and how you.
a
should
final
be
product,
compensated.
bro. A final product.
I mean,
how
that's
you-
your. I agree with you that yes, those engineers like without them, but also without maybe
No, the car-
Elon-
What I'm saying is the car itself. The car itself is the thing that produces value. You buy the thing. What do you get from Tesla? You get a car. You get a full electric car. And everyone who built that car all played a vital portion and part in making it something that you can drive and pick up.
Right.
That's the value. But that's not where, and this is once again, this gets into a bigger conversation, but like, that's not how Tesla makes its money. Like, that's not how they've made money. It's we've lost sight of the things that are tangible and that are valuable, and we've lost sight of why that tangible product isn't what produces value anymore. That's not what produces value for any of those companies.
It's entertainment, is it? What is it?
Jeff Bezos doesn't make fucking money off of selling you goddamn things.
Why do
He
all
gets
these
money off of
people
people
have to be
speculating off
fucking
stock.
rapey looking too, though? They all look like fucking rapists.
Yeah, you make a certain amount of money and then you just look like you fuck little kids. It's gross.
Literally.
Gross.
So fucking
gross.
annoying. Anyway, so I was actually having a conversation today on this has nothing to do with anything, but back to capitalism. If you watched episode 5, everybody, shouts out there, and just how that breeds this competition and this knowledge isn't open source because of it. Like I was just looking into something for my company and just like prefab housing isn't a new fucking thing. Like a lot of companies are trying to do the same goddamn thing and have had great development in certain areas of it, but like there's always a missing link. If it was open goddamn sourced and we were all working towards the same goal, we'd have housing for everyone. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I mean, you're right, and I know what the argument to that is. That is, then there's a lack of competition, but that's not true. Like, even if you were within an open source and you guys all did work to a collective issue, you would then create whatever prototype. Everyone would create a different prototype, and you would recognize differences between them and reasons to make them different or to improve upon them. But that's not how the thought process is. The thought process is, well, if we give that person or another company information, then we lose what makes us valuable. And that's not true. What makes you valuable is providing housing for people. But it's not going to stop there.
Yeah,
There's
no.
always a way to improve.
Because there's always a way to create even small, like you're always trying to create your own niche market. So every opportunity you get to create that uniqueness, you're going to hold on to it.
There's a middle ground, and I just wish that we thought about those things a little bit more and thought about them differently.
I just feel like it's a very difficult thing to try and actually make happen on like a large scale. To like, you have to basically have the entire country decide that money is no longer valuable and that everybody's needs should be met equally, and that there's no such thing as competition anymore. There's no.
But that's not what I'm saying. But that's literally not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can. It's the same. Okay, for example, like let's use the internet, right? We all have access to the internet. Every person here has access to the internet, but I decide that I want to look into finances, and there's a bunch of information about finances. Chicaron decides he wants to look into engineering, so he dedicates all of his time to engineering. Does that mean that there isn't any more competition, or is there just open source information for all of us to get to a certain point? It doesn't mean that everyone's at the same level of engineering, because there's still different levels of knowledge within it. Just because things are open source doesn't mean that competition goes away. And I think that's a very common misthought. That's not true. If that was the case when we all go to school and we all study the same thing, then why aren't we all getting paid the same amount of money? Because there's still levels of competition.
That's true. I think there's different. There's more forms of value that we aren't able to see because we're so stuck on like the small aspects of novelty. I guess I don't know. But
I think we've got to expand the way that we think and don't necessarily just take what's told.
Okay, so how do we work towards that as a society, though? Do we kind of like? It's cool to dream, but is it even? How do you? So we could become environmentally friendly by doing environmentally friendly things. We could start using a fucking metal water bottle, right? But how the fuck do we take small steps in our daily life to achieve something like that? Is that even possible?
I feel like I'm dominating this conversation. I don't want to, so I'm gonna stop talking.
You know what I am gonna
honestly, do? I'm curious. Like I want to know because I have no idea what because basically a lot of this stuff, like the real crux of a lot of this stuff is again going back to like the hierarchy, the competition, capitalism, all that stuff. And I don't know how you address that without getting rid of those things. But obviously that's not going to happen. So how do you go about actually, just doing something a little bit to try to address that?
I think it's important that there's recognition of where the true value is. And what does that mean though? What does that entail?
How do you recognize?
We know that there are other people in the background for Tesla, but how do I, as an individual living over here in Wakanda, how do I show my appreciation to that engineer or those engineers in the background?
How do you define recognition?
Right, because at that point it's not about, it's like, even if I want to, how do I go about doing that when I don't know the name of these people, or these people maybe like you're saying, like, right, these people aren't getting credit. They're all in the background. They're behind the scenes. We don't know who they are. They just work for the company. How do I know who's doing what? How do I know who gets more recognition than others? Because there are other people who are doing more than other people. So does that mean the recognition should also be proportional to how much work that person does? You know what I mean? Like
I think and we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but I think that economics are more valuable than recognition. And I think that economically you should show value in the right people. So for example, like, I guess we'll just continue to use the Tesla example. Let's say the people who are responsible for building Tesla don't feel as though they're being valued strongly enough and want to make a difference. They can recognize that their value is producing the car, and they collectively decide, we're not going to produce this car and put these pieces together until we see where our value is being placed.
So you're saying they should go on strike?
Collective bargaining.
So you're talking about forming a union.
And what's stopping Elon from just hiring different engineers?
The same people who get hired should have that same mentality.
It's
collective
crazy.
Bargaining.
Right. Okay, I hear that, right? But then, because also working for a company like Tesla, right? Like when we're talking about Tesla, and in this case, Kobe brought up Chevy. Like, if you're an engineer, you'd more likely want to work for Tesla than Chevy. The same way you'd more likely want to go to, let's say, Harvard than, and this is no disrespect, but like Loyola, right? Because like these institutions have like a higher, like they have a higher name recognition, yeah, like name brand, all that stuff. Society views those places or those institutions as better, right? So if you're someone who works at Tesla and that was like your dream job and like you worked your way up and were able to get into that company and work there, and you worked there for a while and you're like, hey, I'm not getting the recognition I deserve. All my coworkers agree we should all unionize or, you know, do a collective bargaining agreement. And then Elon's just like, I'm gonna go get some Chevy engineers because I know that they want to work for me and they're not able to work for me because you guys were in their, you know, were working for me instead.
So is that true? Is that true collective action?
How do you solve that problem?
Is that true collective action?
But that's competition.
So you're saying across the board, all engineers in all spaces.
I'm saying there should be no. What I'm saying is, if there's recognition that the reason why I'm being hired for this position or I'm being desired for this position is because other people are being exploited, then I should also be playing a role in making sure that doesn't happen.
Okay, so basically we're asking people to set aside their own personal desires and to
let me put it this way. No. Let me put it this way.
Because I agree with what you're saying, right? But I'm just playing devil's advocate because like
which you should. But I think it's funny that we look at this on a negative. There's a negative connotation with it when we like do it as individuals. Yet when companies do it to people, it's like that's just competition.
No, I don't think it's a negative though. I'm
saying a negative connotation, not saying that like you think personally, but there's a negative connotation viewed with like putting your own personal beliefs to the side for a larger cause. Like I think that's not the way that's viewed in a collective bargaining way. Like for example, like if that same engineer, Google approached him because they were interested and they were like, we're going to offer you XYZ and it's going to be this better. No one's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, then someone else could just come and take that job. It's like, no, okay, they're working. There's some form of competition. Like Google and Tesla are competing for one individual. So why can't individuals do the same thing?
No, okay. No, I get that. I get that. I just feel as though, again, kind of going back to capitalism, that because there's so many competing corporations, like it's kind of hard to achieve that if not everyone
and I also
at that
think
same level is on the same page, right? Because like what you just said is 100% true, and like we see right now with like for example BJ's and Costco, right? BJ's and Costco, Sam's Club, all these I don't know what they're called, but like these like bulk big, you know, these bulk stores or whatever, they all do the same thing. But out of all of them, you could say Costco treats their employees the best because they don't work past, I think, 8 or 9. Like they have like normal hours. They're off on the week, not on the weekends, but like they're off on Sundays. They don't work on Sundays, even though you would assume, oh, you know, they're a retail store. They would. That's like the most lucrative time for retail stores, the weekends. Costco doesn't do that. So if you're someone looking for work, and you have the option between Costco and BJ's. Oh, and by the way, too, Costco will also pay you more than BJ's, and you get all those perks. You'd want to work for Costco, right? Like you're saying. But then, you know, if Costco gets you and they put you in there and they're doing all that stuff, but hey, you still need a job. And at the end of the day, there's only so many jobs Costco can give out, right? There's only so many jobs it can give out. So if that position in Costco is taken, you might have to go work for BJ's. Or if you can't work for BJ's, you might have to go work for Walmart or Sam's Club. So like I feel like
the system breeds that. I agree with you.
But I don't even think it's a system thing. I just think it kind of goes back to, again, like this, like it's kind of going back to this whole, why is there a hierarchy in things? I feel like there's a hierarchy in things because there needs to be for the limited resources that we have to be properly, not properly, but there needs to be a hierarchy for resources to be allocated, whether it's fair or not. Because like I said, with Costco or with any of these corporations, there's only so many jobs they can offer.
What's the difference? What's the difference between a worker at Costco, BJ's, and Sam's Club?
What do you mean in terms of what? Like their skill
Their,
level, or
their responsibilities. Like what makes them different besides the company that they work for?
they're doing the same thing.
My point exactly.
Right.
All of those people are doing the same job. They're the same
Right.
collective group of people. So
Okay.
if all of those people are all on the same page, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter if you work for Sam's Clubs, BJ's, or fucking.
But what's
it
on the
doesn't
same
matter.
page though? That's like
But
dictated
yeah.
by-
So
Who's
but then
that
that goes,
dictated
but that goes back then to what a couple was saying before. That then you're expecting the people at Tesla and people at Chevy to be on the same page of what they deserve
Yeah.
on their
Correct.
value.
Because exactly. Because like the people who are working at Costco, you're asking them to put their own personal desires aside for the benefit of the group, and that's great, and I agree with that.
Because
you
it
know there's-
benefits them as an individual in the long run. It's not like you don't
right?
get
No,
the payout.
no, you're right. But I'm saying though that there's some people who aren't going to be as who aren't going to see the big picture, right? There are going to be some people who only see the short term, and like we can't.
But this is
like, sorry, go on.
that's what I want to change. That's it. That's all I want.
So you're basically saying let's get rid of people being selfish. No one should ever be selfish. If you're selfish,
no,
you can't.
We are doing this because we are selfish.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
understand.
more.
Yeah,
That's exactly what
so
you
that,
should
but,
be.
So that but you're being selfish for on other people
For the greater good, for everyone to benefit.
Yeah, but that's not selfish is an independent thing. You want everything for yourself. Selfish people do things.
So do it for selfish
One,
reasons.
I think we are bred on this idea of selfishness and doing everything for yourself. That's what you get to where you want to go on your own terms. We're bred with this idea, and then just to break that, I think is just it's a goal.
So
It's a fucking goal.
let me ask you this then, right? Because so in this case, you're saying that they should all come together, all these people, so Sam's Club, Costco, BJ's, and come together and form a collective bargaining agreement. And in that case, the collective bargaining agreement would be to ensure
Can
that,
I get a C?
See.
Can I
C.
get an O?
Oh.
Can I get a munism?
oh.
What is that spell?
So basically you're saying that it would ensure that BJ's and Sam's Club would be doing the same thing that Costco is doing? Is that like the goal? Or
Whatever.
is that what you're saying?
It's an even playing field.
Whatever
you are.
So basically
job.
it's just to improve the standards for everybody. But that's like that's what I'm saying though, like because Costco are the only ones who are doing this out of all these big chain stores, I guess you could say, or these big bulk stores. And I don't know, and it's not like it's not like BJ's or Sam's Club have thought, hey, these are our competitors, right? In this whole capitalism thing, when it comes to like supply and demand, all that stuff, when your competitor does something and they're beating you at something and they're attracting more customers, whatever it may be, like that, like I know, like my mom, she'll only shop at Costco now because they treat their workers better, right? So Costco are doing something where they're increasing their PR, like their name brand, and they're also treating their workers well. Like they're, like the whole entire thing, they're having a good light in society. If BJ's are still making the same amount of money, like does it really matter to them to force to
does it matter to the
that?
people in charge? No, but does that matter to the individual worker who works at
no
BJ's?
but I mean,
That's
but
what I'm
the whole point though is to get these people in charge to change the way that they have things set up to match what Costco are doing, right? That's the whole point of this collective bargaining agreement. But I'm saying because we live in
I don't think that happens
society.
And also, why don't they just do it now? What's the negative? If Costco gets all these benefits because they're structured that way, why don't they just copy it? There has to be.
It almost sounds like there's no competition.
Well, there has to be a reason. They probably can't be successful
because they probably don't feel like they need to, because it's not like
You're
they're
telling me
like,
BJ's
it's not
can't
like
be
they're
successful if they
losing-
adopt the same.
Please tell me where BJ's got their name, please. Does it stand for something else?
I think
Yeah.
it does, but I don't know what it
It
stands,
stands for blowjob. It's never not stands for blowjob.
Barbara Jingleberg.
Blowjobs.
Shouts out her.
Blowjobs wholesaler. I don't know, man. I think.
Imagine that, bro. You just get Wow,
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
it's just
That
just
sounds
massive amounts.
glory
Of
holes in the fucking food aisles, and you just get a blowjob every fucking
20 for $50.
The
Maybe that's how. Maybe
the
that's how
milk section.
BJ's. Maybe
It's just
that's how.
mouth.
Maybe that's how BJ's surpasses Costco. That's maybe.
This mouth looks moist than the other.
I
This
don't
one expires in
okay.
2 days.
Other than the history of communism, what really is? I feel like communism really isn't that bad of a thing. If I feel like
Communism.
we're all saying kind of the same thing. And I don't
No,
think we
we're
could
not though.
achieve. I don't
We're
think
not,
we could
though.
achieve the world Hassan wants if there isn't. Right now, there's too much of a mentality that we're separated from each other, and we're our own success and our freedoms and whatever is dependent on ourselves. We don't have a communal
I think
environment like that.
I
Doesn't
think-
exist because
think-
of competition.
I think communism as a mentality is important. Like a communistic mentality where we're all working towards one end goal is something that I think is valuable. But putting it within a like economic market, it just doesn't work as well. Although there are slight examples of it being successful, but like I don't think you can do it on a large scale. Personally. But I think that what we're missing with the whole like automatically thinking communism is bad is that we lose the kind of like the importance of communism, which is like one for all. We're all working towards one end goal. That's what we should be teaching
Right.
everyone
But you can't
from the beginning.
do that if you're also teaching kids, if you work this hard to do this and you do this on your own and blah blah blah, if you knock people over out on the way, you could get to where you want to be. I don't know if you could have both worlds. And also, what do
Yeah.
you mean by economic growth? Like, that's a concept in itself. Is why is that even important? That's
Truthfully,
important in a capitalist like
Yeah, that's true.
truthfully, I agree with you, but I don't think you're ever going to get to a place where nations are like, we're cool with just a living, like not growing economically. Like, that's just not, I don't think, I would love that, but I don't think that's feasible. I don't think that's reasonable. I don't even,
I also just personally think competition is important for people because without competition, you can't really grow. Like as an individual, as a person. And when I say competition, I don't mean like, you know, in like a race. I just mean like competition as in like, you know, you try something, you fail at it, you have to try that thing again to get better at that thing, to grow as a person. I think competition in whatever sense is important for us as human beings to grow as people, to grow our character, to just
I agree.
become to just become
I agree.
better. So
I agree to a certain extent.
So
'Cause
maybe
some
that's
people
the
don't want
important
to
back to bring it around. Maybe that's the important of hierarchy, like wanting to be at the highest position or whatever breeds that.
But
kind of
also,
growth
we have
in a-
you have to go to the idea that also doing that competition, trying to grow as a person, gives your life meaning. If everybody's working for the same goal and everybody's doing
it's a
everything
meaning
at
that's
level-
been that's a meaning that's been distorted for us to believe. If we were
yeah,
raised on a
but
different
then
meaning,
so you're changing your life meaning to I want to make the
it
world
wouldn't
better
make
place.
sense to us, but the children we birth, if they grew up in that with that mentality, it'd make sense to them, and they'd find meaning in that. Like, to us, it doesn't make sense for us to just change right on the spot and be like, "Oh shit!" Like, some people might struggle with that concept. Like,
Bro, my
now
whole
my
life is
meaning's not-
dedicated on that. Like that's all I've ever wanted. I feel like I've told all of you that the only thing I've ever wanted is that I want to make sure that I help people. Period. There's always been my own.
right,
goal.
but you're one in.
I don't think that's true. I think
No,
there's
that's
a
not
lot of
true.
people. I think there's a lot of people who feel that way but don't know how to go about doing it.
But most people at the end of the day, they want to leave an impact on the world in a certain aspect. You know, you can help people in many different ways. I mean, you could look at athletes and say those people maybe don't provide much value outside of entertainment, but they give kids something to look up to when they don't have someone to look up to, and they provide.
And
value
honestly, even the
in a different way.
entertainment is valuable because hey, Colin Kaepernick was out here, he lost his job because he wasn't providing entertainment.
Yeah.
So even that entertainment in itself, in term aside from like, you know, the amount of money that they give to people and stuff, even that entertainment is valuable to a lot of people.
I think
Sorry,
this brings
talking
up a really good question. So, do you think that athletes or entertainers, people who get paid lump sums of monies, have a moral obligation to like provide for less fortunate people?
No,
not
I
at
don't think
all.
they have a moral obligation, but I think it's a
comes down to
good-
reputation.
I
Yeah,
think
just
you're
comes down
I
trying
think
to.
it's
I
been a
think you're
nice
trying to
thing.
imprint a lot of your opinions on what other people. I think everyone should live their life for how they want to live their
Yeah.
life. But
No,
yes,
I just wanted to
ideally-
bring in obligations into the conversation. That was it.
Well,
Didn't
I
catch
agree.
that one.
they do it. I don't think they have an obligation to do it, but I think that most of them will do it. Maybe not for the most pure reasons. They'll do it maybe because they want to. I mean, you look at any people that donate to anything. People donate to Trump because they want to, look like, oh, we're donating, we're giving money. But most of those big lump sum donations are trying to, lower how much taxes you pay. It's mostly selfish reasons anyway to do those things, and then you act like you're doing these things.
I also
out of
think it's
kindness.
so annoying how, like, to Todd's point, just how it's such a rare occasion, or it's like just to do something kind is like a big deal, and like you get recognition for that. That's probably one of the most annoying fucking things I've ever.
Wait, what is the annoying thing? Getting the recognition, or the fact that
Just
that
like, oh, I
makes it-
donated
That you're getting rewarded
$1
for
million
doing
of
for
my
what you're supposed to do.
$500 million to a fucking charity that fucking feeds applesauce to fucking pigs in the oceans.
You know what's funny though? At the
Thank
same
you.
time, when I find out like Z did something and didn't tell anyone about it, I'm also like, yeah, that's cool, but why didn't you say something? Like, that's so cool. That's so like good that you did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had that.
Oh,
thought
really?
in my
You
head
feel that
before.
way?
I've had that
Wow.
thought in my head before. I'm like, oh my god, like that's actually like such a big thing.
It's,
Like,
it's a hard thing because those are the people that are genuine about what they do, and then
Yeah.
the people that are publicizing what they do, they're not genuine about it. So you don't want to hear from them, but you do want to hear from the people who are genuinely.
So
actually
what we just said is there's no way to win.
Yeah, basically.
You always lose if you
well,
share.
no, I think if you don't really share.
Well, I'm not
it,
mad at the person.
Yeah,
for
I'm not-
sharing, but I'd be like, hey, bro, I would
Yeah.
like you could have hit me up on a text. Just be
That's
like-
kind of crazy. I wish I knew that about you. You know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised how many people do so many nice things behind the like. I think I was listening to something and Shaq was like, he.
Oh, yeah. He paid for someone's wedding ring.
And like, but like, does stuff like that every single day, but like
Yeah.
doesn't say anything because he's just like,
Yeah,
I feel like I should do one
That's
good
how
thing
it
every
should
day.
be. That's how it should be, though. Really, like that's.
But now I'm like, oh shit, Shaq! Like, I wish I knew that about you, dude. That's fucking awesome. Like, that's a really nice thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but it's only like that though. Like, as in, we know people are telling us these nice things that they're doing is because we want to know, right? Like, that's like the whole thing with like having celebrities and having social media. It's like, what's the point of being a celebrity or us having celebrities if we don't know who they are? And that's why people want these people to be telling us and showing us and interacting with their fans, because we want to know them on a personal level, even though that's never really going to happen. So when someone, let's say you really, really like Justin Bieber, right? You want to know what he's doing in his life. If you like him, you want to know, what he's having for breakfast or where he gets his clothes from, all those things. So as a fan of him, you'd want to know, if he's a good person and if he's being charitable to people who are
Imagine the people that
worse
looked up to
off
R.
than-
Imagine the people that looked up to R. Kelly,
Yeah.
You
You
liked
know?
him? You like R. Kelly?
I believe I can fly. That's about it. That's my.
Wait, can I tell a story really
said
quick
it
about
here.
that? I was dating someone at one point.
Was it R.
and-
Kelly?
No, and
Was it Kelly R?
no.
Just tried to reverse.
I was like, who's Kelly R? And I was like, oh, I get what you did there. I told her that I couldn't go to sleep without listening to I Believe I Can Fly every night. And so every single time that I like spent the night, I would do it for like a month or so. And then at one point I like fell asleep, or I was getting ready to fall asleep without doing it. And she was like, wait, you can't go to sleep without I Believe I Can Fly, can you? And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. And I did that for about 6 months before I was like, yo, I just made that shit up. I don't even know.
That's like a 7-minute
Yeah,
song, dude. That's way too long when you're trying to
Maybe
go to
Todd
sleep.
Collapse.
make some space for a song.
Collapse.
That's psychopath. That's some psychopath
Collapse.
behavior, bro.
I only like long game jokes are the only
That's
ones I'm
scary.
here
That's
for.
not a joke. That's
Long
scary.
game
That's
jokes is what I'm here for.
dedication. Back to
100%.
And I just remembered there's another song that R. Kelly made that's better than I Believe I Can Fly. And it's
Ignition.
Ignition remix, dude.
You're
That's-
you're
that's
bullshit.
When I
incredible.
tell me,
No. No, No, I believe I can fly.
Hot and
blows
fresh out the
Ignition out of the
kitchen.
water.
Mama rolling that body. Got
Everybody did wish it.
that's a
Wait,
good-
what was
that's
the
not No
original
Hate.
though? If
That's
that was a
not-
remix, what was the original?
You're
No,
bugging.
listen. I mean, listen.
That's better than I believe I can
Listen,
fly.
I love I
Correct.
Believe I Can Fly. When that
Correct.
chorus comes in at the
My
end,
booty starts to fluctuate without me consciously like.
Bro.
that shit
Let me.
comes
I'm gonna
in.
put it into the perfect analogy. Ignition remix is that cheap hooker
get
who's gonna suck your dick for nothing. I believe I can fly makes you fucking earn it. That's that beautiful chick who you could take home to mom. She's fucking gorgeous, and she builds you up.
I
She
mean,
builds you
have
up,
to, yeah, that
and then
bit
you
that-
get to the
that-
top.
at
You
the
get to
end,
that
dude.
4-minute mark, and you're like,
when he's like,
that was fucking
Good-
worth
good
it.
try trying
That
to
was
make an
fucking worth
analogy
it.
out of that, but
That
Wait,
was
wait,
fucking worth it.
nah.
wait, no, because
I think they're both
think-
prostitutes.
No, no,
and
no, no, no. I think
Ignition
what-
is a more expensive
No,
prostitute.
no. Because if you think about it, dude, when Hassan's right, because when he hits that note, when he goes like
Bro,
like in the middle,
bro,
Is it over? Is it over?
bro. It's all about the payoff. It's
Yeah.
all about the payoff, bro.
And when that chorus comes in, dude, and it just starts slapping and like, oh yeah, I believe I can fly.
It's the payoff,
The
though.
change up was.
But
Does it-
no, ignition.
It's
Right.
still a slap. It's still a slap.
Ignition is a slap, but it's like getting pissed on. It's not that great. It's not as
bro.
good.
It's
But when you guys listen to the songs, do you ever just think, "Damn, this song could be about a 15-year-old girl, a girl"? Like every girl, like,
My
Everybody
brain
like
doesn't
talking
go
about it.
there.
I don't listen
Why
to
did
lyrics
he
nor
do
read them
that?
for this very reason. I could still enjoy music.
yeah, but
without-
you know the words though. That's the point.
But I don't listen to the
mean,
words.
I
Does that
mean-
make sense?
You know the words.
I hear the word. That's what my dad says all the time when I'm being disobedient. You hear it,
You
but
hear
you're
me.
not listening.
Listening.
you're not listening.
Yeah,
I'm like,
same.
Yeah,
same.
you're probably right. You're probably
Yeah,
right.
no, you're absolutely right, dude. Oh my god, no, that's fucking grimy. I don't. We haven't listened to R. Kelly, man. Even I believe I can fly. Haven't heard it.
Because like that's the thing. Whenever I think of like Michael Jackson songs, like, and I love Michael Jackson's music, but like I always just think
Beat it.
Hmm.
Beat it.
Like the song "Heal the World," right? Like I'm just like, bro, I know what the words say, but like there has to be like a deeper meaning. Like
Oh, that's
Who
why
wrote the
words,
music?
Words
Who
ruin
wrote the
music,
music?
you guys. It's all about melody.
I don't know,
Melody
man.
words.
I don't know. Like sometimes I just think like I still like his music, but I'm just like, bro, you kind of sus there.
You
I'm
can
just
say-
saying, Michael Jackson's never been charged with anything. I'll defend him till the day I die.
I mean, just wish that never happened in general. but,
What?
yeah.
Remind me of the surgeries he got. What were the
Oh,
surgeries he had? Michael Jackson?
He went from white to black. Sorry,
Someone told me that was because of a skin disorder. I don't know if that's legit.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Bro, he Sammy Sosa himself, bro. He did the
Did
whole
he?
Sammy Sosa, bro. Yeah, he bleached his skin.
Hold on,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look. I'm
How
gonna
do you
look. it up.
bleach your skin, my G? Is it just Clorox or you just?
I don't
He
know.
also got a nose job too.
Yeah,
no,
he
no,
definitely
no,
got
no,
a nose
no,
job.
no, no, no,
100%.
no. He got a lot of nose jobs.
Yeah,
He
multiple
didn't
nose
get a
jobs,
nose
yeah.
job.
But
His
it's
no-
like, dude, the
I
way
remember
we
hearing
talk about
stories-
it, can we get depressed real quick? Like, that's so sad. Just to think, like, to be in a
It
condition
is.
where you're so
Well, they
unhappy
say-
with yourself that you
Well, think
feel
about
the
this.
need
Think
to-
about this. They said that Michael Jackson, when he was a child, his parents got him fucking like neuter. Basically, they took away all his testosterone to preserve his voice, and that's the reason
Wait,
why. his voice-
how do you do that though?
Or
It's,
he wanted to preserve his voice. That's
No,
why
no.
He
He
had
was
a-
he was a child, and his parents did it because he was in the Jackson 5 and he was killing it. So what they did was they basically, I forget the word, but they basically they took all his testosterone out of his body and basically didn't let him
Okay.
go through puberty.
You're saying that, but like, how do you take someone's like? Because
I know there's
something
no,
that your body
there's a
produces?
it's a procedure. You can it's like a puberty blocker where they put it on they
So it's like a hormone treatment.
Buy the
Yeah, it's like a
puberty
hormone
blocker
treatment.
3.0.
But he's-
Stop your
he still
puberty in
grew up,
its
though.
tracks.
Yeah, but by the time that's why they say he had this obsession with children and that he technically didn't touch children is because he never went through puberty, and so like he had this idea that
So then he was in the
Okay,
right.
but he did
so
go
then,
through
wait,
puberty,
then
though.
he was in the right now.
Because he grew up into a full-grown man. So
Yeah,
like, he did go
but
through
you-
puberty.
physically he did, but his mental.
So
his-
why are we
he
hating
never
on
had
him
the
for touching a
chemicals.
kid if he's still a kid?
But he
technically?
might
Okay,
have.
no, we're
but-
not. We're not
But
going back to
but technically he never. In his defense, whatever they say that he never really touched a kid. He just wanted to hang out with kids because that's what he related to.
Weird, not against the law.
If I knew that. whole
Weird, not
story-
against the law, and also very hard to believe. So
You know,
Yeah.
He also had
You
he had
tell us.
vitiligo. He had vitiligo.
Yo, you
But,
know
like-
who this is happening
Oh, he
to
did
right
have it?
now?
Yeah, vitiligo.
Okay.
You know who this is happening to right now? Zaza. We gotta save her.
Oh God.
Zaza is getting fucking her puberty 3.0 machine.
Wait, who?
Fucking Zaza.
Who's Zaza?
Who's Zaza?
Yo.
They don't know, bro. You got to put the whole world on. No
Shut
one listening knows.
Who's
Guys,
Zaza?
Is that little Instagram girl that makes music?
Everyone who's listening to the podcast
Little
right
Instagram
now,
wanted woman.
go to Apple Music, go to Spotify, go to whatever DSP you use, and look up Zaza and
What I
listen
do.
to.
What I do.
What
by
I
Zaza.
do.
Can I
Oh,
play
yeah,
a little
what I
6-second snippet here? You
What
know?
I do? I know what you're talking about. I know.
Yeah, she's the next child star to lose it all.
And she's the next child star to make $1 million.
Tell me this shit doesn't bother me.
Chill.
It's coming, bro. It's
Don't
coming.
say shit like that though.
Because
That's
people
crazy.
are creepy like that. It's coming. Ew.
Yeah, I saw this.
That's a banger. All right. She's getting
That's
the
great.
puberty 3.0.
But do you think that if Michael, do you think the idea that Michael Jackson got those puberty blockers, or whatever, didn't go through puberty to preserve his voice, so he had that high pitched voice throughout his career, throughout his life?
I always thought it was that because he was a child prodigy and a child star and the focal point of every group he's been into before his solo career, he never had an opportunity to be a kid. And because he never had the opportunity to be a child, he always wanted to do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know too, like his dad was the hardest
Fuck out
on
of
him
Yeah.
compared to all the other kids.
Dude,
Like,
I mean, there's
like,
got
his
to be
dad
some
was, like-
crazy psychological
like his dad was,
fucking issues
like
that
his
just
dad was
weren't addressed.
intense. So,
Like
yeah.
we understand when music stars right now are like tours are the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Imagine doing it as a kid and it's before it's like, yo, maybe I need to take a break for my mental health. Like it's like, no, you go out there and you make money for
Yeah.
us. And if
It's like,
you don't do
I mean,
it, we
the
don't.
Justin Bieber is the same shit. Like he comes out and has said
But
that,
even
like,
that's like a different era. Like even that's a different era.
But
Like,
he
imagine
has come
before all
out.
that.
He has come out
Exactly.
and said that he's went on tour for like 3 straight years, and it literally fucking ruined his life and his
Yeah.
like, development.
I mean, like you see what's happening. You've seen like the whole stuff that's happened with Britney Spears now, where like it was happening to her when she was a little kid, not a little kid, like when she was like 16, 17, 18,
Yeah.
and she went through that whole thing, and now like all her stuff, like her dad just owns all her
Bro,
shit,
they're
like all
just
her money and
tools.
stuff.
That's insane.
Demi
Yeah, like-
Lovato, all that shit. There's just so
Yeah.
much. Like,
You know,
the
a
child-
scary thought I just had that has nothing to do with this. My apologies for going off topic again. Going to virtual reality here, back to episode 3 or whatever. I was like, well, it kind of pertains to this. I was like, Michael Jackson's dad, like, I want to punch him. And I was like, wait, that's the beauty of like virtual reality. We're gonna be able to have like physical opportunities to just.
Oh, dude, I
fucking-
can beat the
to
fuck out of him.
Exactly.
I
But then
can
I
beat
was
the
like,
fuck
wait,
out of him.
is that a good thing that we're getting our anger? I was like, maybe. And then I thought about it to like white supremacy and white racists. I was like, is it a good thing that they would be able to shoot people? And then I'm like, no, because then they're gonna feel more confident to bring that into the real world. So
I don't know.
We're gonna
That's
have
the
more
that's the
massacres.
dilemma.
we're gonna have
Do you
more
have
massacres.
less? Do you have less, or do you have more? Like I guess that's a question, right?
More.
Do video games make kids more violent, or kids
More, because
just
it's
violent?
so real. I was looking at something like people have gotten over stage fright, like performers and stuff, with virtual reality,
Mhm.
because it's that realistic. So if
Yeah.
they could do that shit, I'm sure there's
I don't-
some stage fright involved in shooting.
It's the idea of
10 million people.
will it ever not be virtual? Like will it always stay? Will they always?
Yeah, when you take your expertise learned in VR and apply
Yeah.
them to
It's
the
gonna
real
be
world.
easier though, because there is some like courage aspect of like getting up and doing the act in the first place. But if you get to practice that shit,
I mean,
it's
you
gonna
guys,
be like nothing. People are just gonna fucking be shooting shit up like it's.
I'm pretty
nobody's
sure. I'm
business.
pretty sure all of us here have played the Modern Warfare 2 thing where you're just walking.
Not
through the
virtually, my
airport-
G. Not
Where,
virtually.
where you're walking through the airport and you just feel really bad about yourself for
Yes.
like 10
I was
minutes.
having
You're like,
fun. I was like,
Yes.
what am I doing?
Yes.
dude?
Yeah.
Oh my
No.
God. That was
I-
hard. I was like, what's going on?
Am I a monster?
Yeah. That was fucking terrible as a
I
kid.
remember that level.
But
But
before we go
there's-
too far off,
That's
of
it.
the
Yeah, no, we're
celebrity-
stopping there. We're stopping there. That's it. I'm
Before
sorry.
we go too far off the celebrity thing, I just saw that whatchamacallit, the girl from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, the Brandon song, had a child with
Macaulay Culkin.
Culkin.
What was
Macaulay
that? I didn't know
Culkin.
they were dating at all.
Wait,
Bro.
really?
Brenda's song and
They're
Kevin
like together. They had a
McAllister.
kid.
Yeah, dude. The Home Alone kid and fucking London. Tipton.
No way.
And who?
Yeah, dude.
Who?
London Tipton from The Sweet
Yeah.
Life of Zach and Cody.
And the little kid from Home Alone have a baby.
Yo, she said, I
Yep.
want those Home Alone checks. That's what she said. She says,
First
I want
off-
those
first off,
December checks.
Talk about passive income, my G.
He doesn't ever have to work a day in his life.
Holy
Never have to work on
Okay,
another
okay,
day in
but
his
Gabe,
life.
Gabe,
Holy
he's
shit.
sacrificed.
And Mariah Carey is all I want for Christmas? Oh my god, bro.
$30 million every December.
Yeah.
Bro.
$13 million.
Don't play
and
with
not
me. I'll sing.
Not just that,
I'll
Nick
fucking
Cannon
sing.
has to pay her too because he fathered her children, her twins.
Yeah.
That's an investment.
Bro.
It was an investment on her and fucking, and he's still balling out.
And an investment for him. That's the pull up. He can always be like, yeah, but I fucked Mariah Carey.
I mean, is that still like a thing now?
No, he can hang his hat on that. He can hang his hat on that.
Because you can hang your
absolutely
hat
hang his hat.
on Will Smith's wife, but I don't know if you can hang your hat on Mariah Carey now.
No, you can hang your hat on Mariah Carey.
You
forever.
can.
Oh, what does that mean? I'm sorry, catch me up with this young.
Nah, this is
lady that we-
misogynistic as fuck. We gotta get out of here.
Okay. Oh, you're in the arena. I was just watching you guys be in.
Yeah,
the
yeah, no, yeah, we were
Considering
all the way
honest.
in the arena for a
Oh,
second.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Fight night.
Yeah, dude. London Tipton.
You guys, do you think we have good chemistry?
No.
On the football pitch.
On the football, me and you do have a mean chemistry on the pitch.
We got a link.
No.
Agree to our statement, or that we don't have good chemistry?
I don't have good chemistry with any of you.
What do you define as good chemistry?
I guess that's a great place to start. What do you define as good chemistry?
I think it's all subjective too. I think everyone has their own idea of what good chemistry is to them, which is interesting. So good chemistry is like when
Again-
In what context, though? Like, what are we talking about? Like,
I think you could have good chemistry, generally speaking.
Just like socially, like a social chemistry, or is it like is there a specific goal? Like, do we have better chemistry if we're like trying to achieve something as a
Just,
collective?
I guess, like socially, generally
do
speaking.
you think chemistry can be manipulated? Do you think chemistry is a choice?
Yeah.
Yeah. So love's a choice.
I don't know about that.
For real, I believe love's a choice.
No, I'm saying I don't know if chemistry is a choice.
Oh.
There are just some people I just can't be around. I just don't like them. So
I mean-
I don't think.
But you could if you needed to.
No. I've tried. It's just no.
I'll put it in the context of, say you are trying to get a significant or a woman of the, or male or whatever.
Or Nemo.
And they're not necessarily, you're trying to get a specific thing, or Nemo. Actually, I take that back. I retract that statement. I
Go to
just
jail.
went in.
Do not collect $200. Do not pass go.
Oh my god.
If you want to get something out of that person, in that case being sex or whatever, like you will make believe you have more chemistry than you really do. You will make the choice to have more chemistry and be more open-minded to the situation, therefore consciously having more chemistry.
Right,
with
but
that
that's
person.
not
real
sustainable,
chemistry.
though.
That's
That's
lying.
not sustainable though. That's so like when I think of chemistry, like to me in my mind, chemistry is sustainable.
Is that your definition of good chemistry?
Oh no, it's one of the things. It's
one of the criteria for good chemistry.
Yeah,
Sustainability.
I think
That's
like,
so
and-
cool. I love
and
that.
when I say sustainable, like I that doesn't necessarily mean that like so for example, right? Like you
That's
could like
interesting,
meet someone, you love them, you date them, you get married, you have kids, you have you divorce. It may be mutual, it may be acrimonious, but like that chemistry is still there. It's just being covered or being stifled by your dislike for that person, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But I think like that chemistry is still there. It's still sustainable. It's not ever gonna be what it originally was in terms of like, oh, we're gonna get back together. But like, like you guys have been through stuff together. You guys still have that relationship there. It's just other things have changed the relationship. But I think there's still a chemistry there.
Interesting. I've never seen chemistry like I've seen chemistry on a short-term base. Like I think it's like
an individual
I
experience.
think it fade. Let me not say fade. You hope it doesn't fade. But I feel like it's almost like appearance. Like,
Well, I think we're
that
talking about
shit-
something different now. Then, like, I don't, because I can't I don't think chemistry fades.
You're
Well,
saying
I
you
mean,
think
I know
we
it's
still have
it's
the same
opinion
amount of
now. I know it's opinion
chemistry.
now, but
Wait, Hassan, I'm interested. Why do you think you have no chemistry with any of us?
no, he's just kidding.
You're
He
just kidding,
does.
my
He's
dude.
being stupid. That's all.
Wait, I don't think he is. I feel
No,
like
he
he's-
is. Like he actually is.
He's definitely
I know
most
this.
certainly
I know
kidding.
this because he and I have chemistry. He's being annoying. That's all it is.
I don't think Hassan agrees with you.
Well, Hassan can suck a fat one.
No.
Now we naming names, bro. It's Akira.
Drop my
Yeah,
whole
it's
government.
getting heated now. Feelings were hurt. It's hurt.
Don't be tired.
I'm not even in Puerto Rico anymore. Shit's just going awry, bro. I do. I think I have chemistry with all of you. I don't know. I guess I don't fully understand what chemistry is. If I better understood what chemistry is, I could speak to it. But like I don't know. Chemistry is a hard one for me because I feel like you could have it with everyone, and it would. But is that sustainable? I guess is a bigger question.
Is chemistry important? Ooh. Is
Important
chemistry
to what?
important? I don't
it
know.
depends. In relationships, I think is important.
Why do we keep saying
Chemistry is-
important to what? It's like to fucking
To
No, because
relationships.
all I think all this stuff is specific. So like when you talk about
relations,
chemistry,
relations, like in the context of relations, any relation.
well, then obviously, because I mean, I don't think you can have a. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. Yeah, I think. Then no, I'm not gonna say it's important. No, it's not important because you can have a relationship with someone without having chemistry with them.
So what's important in a long-term relationship or a successful relationship that lasts for 80 years?
Well, chemistry is one thing that's important.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness gracious.
Chemistry, sustainability, and there has to be some form of like, and in order for something to be like sustainable, you got to be able to like renew. You know what I'm saying? So like when the chemistry may be fading because of something that's happening, you need to have something that resparks or
Sparks it up.
reignites.
Yeah, I think kind of the way I look at chemistry is like a version of like being bonded to somebody. Like there's some type of bond that forms chemistry. Like there's a reason why there's chemistry between two people. I think with everybody I've become close to in my life, the reason I became close to them is because of some sort of similar interest or something that happened to us that bonded us and gave us a chemistry in that moment. And like you said, sustainability, some of those bonds have broken because you said they need to be reignited, and they haven't been too long. And then, by the time, time passes and things fade. But I think that there's also relationships that don't need as much nature or bonds that don't need as much ignition, and that for some reason the chemistry can be held for a longer period of time without maybe having that ignition to fight behind it. And I don't know why that exists for certain relationships, but I think that's, for me, that's how I look at it. It's more of like a bonding.
I thought you said you I believe I can fly. Why'd you repeat ignition?
I caught that too.
Caught. You're back
But
on
no,
my side.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, because that's the thing too. Like, depending, like, different people or different relationships have different levels of chemistry, right? So there could be relationships that you have with people that have zero chemistry, and that's fine. That relationship may or may not be a long-term relationship, but like, it's never going to be a meaningful relationship. It's just going to be like it's kind of like, oh, we're acquaintances, we know each other. You know what I mean?
Is the level of chemistry, though, like you're saying there's different levels of chemistry, is the level of chemistry dictated, is it a natural occurrence, or is it just the amount of effort that you are willing to put in?
I think it's a combination, dude. I think when you initially build a bond with someone, for some reason it could be a fucking super strong thing that just like you'd have no reason or explanation why that bond is so strong with that person or specific person.
Right.
And then also there is dependent on what is the reason that you bonded with that person to begin with. Like, are you bonded because you did a fucking group project together? Like I don't talk to a single person I went to college with, and I dealt with them. I met them every day for lunch. I hung out with them all the time. didn't build any bonds or chemistry with them to the point where they became a sustainable relationship.
I think chemistry can mean a lot of things. Like I think
Well, yeah, no shit. That's what we're talking about.
yeah, but I think like I think the chemistry
Good
I'm-
shit, fucking Killmonger. Fucking call him out on that bullshit.
he got so mad. Ignition's the best song remixed. I think like the chemistry. So there's the chemistry where it's like surface level, like what we're talking about, we're agreeing on type shit. Oh, that's not surface level, but that's a form of chemistry, right? It's like I agree with your opinion on that, you agree with my opinion on that. There's a chemistry there, and then I think for me, the most important chemistry is like how people interpret each other's actions. Like if I fart in a microphone or some shit, and how that my significant other interprets that and deals with that, there's that chemistry too, I think. That's
Seems like a reaction to fucking disgusting.
that's what it is though. It's like reactive chemistry. It's like how you react to each other's, like they don't I'm sure she doesn't agree with that, like she doesn't think that's funny or whatever, but like how she interprets that data and then how she's able to move with that. I think that's a chemistry in itself. I think chemistry's on different layers.
Yeah.
But you could also discover that later on, and I think that comes down to like effort, right?
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to the like how important that person is or how important you want them to be.
Right.
And then like if there isn't that initial chemistry or bond and you keep putting work into it, I think that you could eventually build it.
You could learn to love
But it-
anyone.
But it's just it might be, like you said, more difficult with certain relationships and certain people. But I think at the end of the day it is possible. It's just you have to have something or spend enough time and have enough effort put in to the relationship to have that chemistry built.
So, like Gabe says, is it possible to learn to love anyone?
Absolutely. I think
so.
I think what's it called? Arranged
I
marriages.
don't know.
I think a lot of arranged marriages become super successful. It's not a matter of like, okay, maybe the parents choose someone super cool or whatever, but beyond that, I think not everyone's perfect, and I think some of those turn out to work out really well because you can learn to love people.
But I don't think you can learn to love anyone, though. I don't think you can do that with anybody.
I do.
I don't think Gabe would ever fucking love someone he didn't find semi-attractive.
That's
think-
actually the furthest from the truth.
No, I really don't think there.
All right, I don't want fucking the person that just jumped off a skyscraper is now fucking 5
Yes,
inches tall.
but you can't learn to love that. I believe that there's plenty of people that you won't be able to learn to love,
That's not true though.
and
That's
maybe
not my truth.
and I'm talking about loving in the way that you're forming a relationship, a long-term relationship with them. I don't think that you would be able to do that with anybody.
I can tell you I can do it with anyone.
But I think, but
Wait,
Gabe
you-
is,
if
but
you said
Gabe
you
is
can,
standing.
you can.
I couldn't.
I think Gabe's standing on the ground that he
I-
can.
I think
and
I
Still don't know if you said yes or no.
And I think that we should test this theory, and we should find someone for Gabe to learn to love.
Test. My name's Chicharron, Chicharroncito.
Okay. I can do that.
All right.
Okay,
Arrange me a fucking beautiful gal.
let's
I'm gonna
fucking
pick
find
someone
it.
I already know he fucking can't stand. bro.
Learn to love him.
Learn to love him.
Learn to love him, Gabe.
Learn to love him.
All right, as long as the other is like they're actively involved and we're not forcing them in a situation, you know that.
We are literally forcing them into it.
Who
This is an
they
arranged
love.
thing. This is 100% arranged.
Locked up, they don't let me out. Locked up, they don't let me
We're
out.
literally catfishing people.
Do you
Let's
guys?
see if the social experiment works on your own. Sorry if you end up
No,
being
you'd
very
ask,
unhappy.
hey, are you willing to try for 5 months to date this human being? The benefits will be Chipotle every Wednesday, dinner, free. No
Yeah,
luck.
he's putting in effort.
So, do you guys want to know something else about chemistry that I find that is funny?
Psychedelics.
When I was in high school, you know how your second year of high school you're supposed to take biology. Normally, like that's what they tell you to do. You take the PES, biology, then chemistry.
Okay.
For
Sure.
less intelligent people. Okay, I don't know if you guys were in like AP fucking bio. I was in the basic sciences. Okay, so physical science, biology, chemistry. That's what they did. But they didn't tell you that you could take chemistry first, right? So when I was signing up for classes as a freshman for the following year, I was like, you know what, dude? I'm gonna take chemistry sophomore year, and I'm gonna be with a bunch of juniors, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking hang out with like the older kids. I'm gonna see if I can make friends. Worst decision I ever made. And then when I was a junior, I had to take biology, so I was with a bunch of sophomores. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck did I do with myself? I didn't even take any class with my friends.
Why did chemistry sophomore year not work out?
It was just, dude, I didn't know anybody, and then everyone just looked at me like I was a kid. They're like, why are you in this class? You're supposed to be taking biology.
That's
like,
wild though,
sorry.
because it's only a year difference.
Yeah. It's
Nah,
only-
but that's like so. It's so.
Yeah, when you're-
funny.
It's high school,
No,
like,
that's
I
not
get it,
true.
but,
Like
like,
in
if you
middle
really
school,
think
there was
about it,
a
it's
year
like-
difference. Like in our units, we had.
But it
the
wasn't that
fucking-
big of a deal. But like,
It was 1
think
year
about
difference.
it. The difference between a junior and a senior is like driving. It's a huge difference
and
for
it's
some
drastically different between a 7th and 8th grader. A 7th and 8th grader is the same thing. They just have, more
Well, you're in
developed-
different classes.
Right, but if you think about it though, right, in college, the difference in years didn't really matter that much, but in high school it did.
In high school, it did,
I
and it
guess.
definitely
Yeah.
mattered for me, dude. I
That's
thought
true.
I was, dude. I'm hanging out with a bunch of sophomores, and as a junior, I'm like, dude, I feel like such an old fucking loser, dude. Why am I
Like, can you imagine that though? Like, you're 16, and it's like, oh my god, look at all these 15-year-olds, and it's like, bro, you're only a year older than me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not
I
that.
learned
It's
so
not
much.
that
It's
deep.
not
I
that
got
deep.
sick of
Yeah,
it.
why do we make it that deep?
Yeah,
I
don't
got
know.
a
It's
job,
very
dude.
weird
I work
at
at the
all.
snack shack.
And then
Dude.
age
These people
doesn't
don't know what it's
matter
like to
at all
earn
after
money.
college. During college. Can
I'm
I
sorry.
say
What was that? What was that, teacher on?
I said age after college isn't like a thing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said something else.
You good there? In the
Yeah,
arena?
what'd you
no,
think
I
he
heard something
said?
Me in
else.
the arena. I don't want to.
I'm trying to push him into the area.
2 things about high school. One, I was terrified for freshman beatdown. I thought that was a real thing. I literally was like, I don't
Me
know
too.
how many. I had rose beads, and I would pray the night before. I was like, doing 50 fucking Hail Marys, thinking I was gonna
Oh,
die. Glad that wasn't real. And then a big thing. One reason I think I kind of know why going back to Todd's point about the whole like being in honors or whatever, caring about the class you were in. I always wanted to be valued for being like intellectual. So I would always strive to go in these higher level classes. Like I would go into it, advanced English, advanced whatever the fuck.
Wait, they just let you in there?
No, like I did
He
somewhat.
worked for it.
I
yeah.
did okay in them, but then when I got in there, I failed completely. Like I didn't belong there at all. But like that's one of the reasons I kind of stopped playing soccer. I felt this need, like I wanted to feel like I was smart over the need of being known as someone who could play soccer. Anyways, that's my
Really?
life story. Yeah, I think that's one of
Wow.
the reasons.
Wow, dude, and you would be pro if you just didn't give a fuck about
I know.
school.
Look at that. Social anxiety and all that goodness can fuck up
Wow.
your life.
That's
Yeah,
actually really interesting.
Dude,
because
my
why
life-
couldn't you have both?
Yeah.
I think that I just didn't want to be. I don't know. I wanted to be known as a.
I feel like
Smart
you were
person.
always known as the kid that was the best soccer player. At least growing up, you were always like, "Oh, Gabe plays PDA. Everyone else is on the Hurricanes. Like Gabe is like the best player. Is how everyone's like he had a reputation of
I
being.
guess
Okay.
the way I've always
Alright.
valued
A
it is
higher-
I saw people who were smart as more valuable or cooler. Like that's how I've always seen it, kind of thing. And like
But they're not.
Is
they're
that
not
because
really
like
expensive.
were you taught that, or you just felt like that?
I just felt like that. I guess I don't know. Like I don't know if I felt because I valued smart people or thought they were cool. I felt like that's what I needed to do to be. And I probably still kind of feel like that in some context. But yeah, y'all, that was Get Deep with Gabe.
Yeah, dude. I mean, high school was like the worst 4 years of my life. So I feel-
Was it really?
Yeah, dude. I hated high school.
Passport
Wow.
Todd.
That was actually Middlesex Todd was Passport Todd. So,
So you
I
hate
got
high school and college.
it got worse after I got into high school. But
Wait, Teacher Ron, did you hate high school?
Bro, my peak was 7th grade.
Okay,
of
gas,
my
like
life.
complete gas. Like it's
Nah,
not,
he
that's not
act-
even true.
He repeats that pretty often.
I'm
That's
gonna
not
be
true.
very
Really
honest.
believe- I think
Ever
he
since-
really believes-
I believe that
Ever
too,
since
for me.
10th grade, confidence in the floor. Dug a hole.
Not
I-
the
I-
second. The
I-
second.
that's bullshit.
The
I'm
second
not,
I
it's
stepped,
really not.
Yeah, the second, at least maybe it's his own perception, but the second I stepped in high school in 9th grade, I lost every single friend I ever had strictly because I was too afraid to go up to them and just talk to them like I would if it was in fucking middle school.
Really?
Literally. I had, dude,
Wow.
the people that I was friends with in high school, in middle school, didn't translate at all into high school. The only friend that I was able to transition to to high school was people I played soccer with, like Vegs. But that outside of that, dude, all like the social relationships I had just couldn't deal with the idea of talking to them in certain environments, and they just completely dissipated. Like
Disclaimer: don't drop names. Just don't drop names.
yeah. Like I
Yeah,
went into,
or locations too. That'd be great.
yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. But anyway, I went into high school with a girlfriend in 9th grade, and I was dating her for almost 2 years in middle school.
Oh yeah,
The first week in high school, dude, just stopped talking to her. Just stopped, literally like too afraid to go up to her. Like I hadn't been at her house all the time throughout the summers, years.
Everything changed.
Literally couldn't build the
Because you're in a bigger building, bro. Because you're in a bigger building.
Literally couldn't build the confidence to just go over to her locker and just say,
your
"Hi,
girlfriend.
like I've been doing."
You're the yo.
The
My
love
own
of your
girlfriend
life,
for
the
2
love of your
years.
life that you've literally told everything. I feel like genuinely 10th grade, it all like.
But what happened in 10th grade specifically?
I think there was like an event where one person called me annoying, and I was like, oh.
Well, you got to remember,
I
like,
won't dance on the
Gabe-
tables and be myself anymore for the rest of my life now. And now
Wow.
we're here.
Well, you got to remember
It
that
was crazy.
Gabe was a full on, like, this is a factual statement. Chicharron was a full on bully throughout.
I
elementary
was
school.
not a bully.
Were you really?
I was
throughout
not.
throughout elementary
Okay.
school. He has a reputation of being very harsh.
Akofa, I think your hair's
Wow.
ugly. Akofa, I think your glasses are ugly. Are you gonna say something back? That's what would
No,
happen.
I'm not.
People would
Because I know
say
you don't.
something.
I know you don't actually believe that. So
People would say something about me or say something to me, and I was like super short. I had to stand up for myself. It was never I'm just going out of my way to go pick on people. I just was hyper reactive to like when people tried to.
There are reputable sources that say that Gabe, you would walk up to Gabe at
All right.
school. And
He
he
should have
would
known.
literally
He
just
wore
be like-
frosted tips and fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you would just walk up and be like, "What's wrong with you?"
I
on the
didn't-
playground and just walk away.
I didn't do that.
and
That's
I
such a
remember,
joke.
and I remember.
I know
that
exactly who you're talking about.
we were in.
I think that's why he
elementary
hates me till this day, but still loves me at the same time. I don't really know.
Such a
I'm
weird
not really-
dynamic.
I don't
You
really
guys
know.
are
Such a
so
weird
weird
dynamic.
I don't
together.
know.
We were in elementary school for 1 year, me and Gabe, and he literally became my enemy day one because he's like, "I'm the best soccer player in the world," and he
All
would
right,
try
you
to.
were
dominate
just
me.
projecting, and I called
Not
you
at
a
all.
dork. I
Not
called you
at
the
all.
D word.
Not at
Yo,
all.
I'm dying.
And look at you guys now. And look at you guys. now.
Exactly. But there was that chemistry. We bonded over the hatred we had for each other in elementary school.
So it was the chemistry I'm speaking of, where it's reactive, and when I say something, you do. I was just trying to make a connection.
Wait,
I didn't
Akira, did you hate high school?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, I feel like Akira's had a pretty good ride. Maybe I feel like he's enjoyed most of his years, at least after high school.
High school wasn't bad. High school was always just like, I know who my people are, and I work really hard to maintain it, and I think I've done that throughout. People have been added to my group, like all of you guys, but yeah, no, high school was never bad for me, just because I think that like I'm just nice, I guess. I don't know.
I just became so socially conscious and so uncomfortable in myself as a
It's-
human.
I was super socially aware. Like it's not like I wasn't like, yo, these are cool people. These people are cooler than me. Like I had all of those thoughts too, but it was just like, I'm not going to stop that from like I don't know.
Yeah, no,
you
no,
didn't have the
yeah.
willpower for that one. I didn't have
That
the
shut my body down. Yeah, that shut me down. That literally.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not saying like I didn't like it didn't change some of the way that I acted as well. Like I definitely think that I became like more socially aware, and it maybe turned me into a dickhead to some of like my older friends. Like I can tell you,
Like that kid who plays trumpet, who made me pay for a $20 IHOP meal that I didn't eat.
wait, when did that happen?
Long story.
I don't know. Yeah. So I think I may have changed. I think our high school may have changed me, but
We're being hella
I don't
specific. That kid with blonde hair and blue eyes.
yeah, blonde hair, blue tips. It's
You know
weird
who
to
you
this
are,
day.
but I'm not going to say your name. But you already know who you are. Okay, we're on the same. Okay, but yeah.
What about you, Killmonger? How was high school for you?
High school was honestly just school in general for me was like fine. Like I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed going to school. Like I generally liked school as a kid. I don't know. Like I'm just like thinking, cause for me, like high school was different, right? Cause when I went to high school, like my freshman year, I moved. So all the people that I was friends with in middle school, yeah, like middle school, like I don't know why, I just stopped being friends with them because I was getting to know a different group of people. So like I would still know them, like we would still talk, but I grew apart from them and became friends with other people that I knew from, you know, like from like soccer or from after school programs, stuff like that. And I kind of just like grew apart from them. But I mean, in general, like my whole high school experience generally was pretty, I mean, I don't know, it's pretty enjoyable. And I feel like I was more social in high school. Like I got to like know, you know, meet new people and get to know more people. And I enjoyed that as to when I was in middle school, where I mean obviously it's middle school, so you know you kind of like already have like your little group and like you're not really expanding on that. Like in middle school too, like you're more about like just like, you know, having fun playing and stuff like that. Like in high school, you like your world opens up a little bit more and you end up meeting more people and stuff like that. But yeah, in general, it was pretty good for me, let's say.
That's unfair. You guys both had good experiences, and that's why. I guess that's what. Yeah, me and Kobe's relationship, I guess, is based off our insecurities. I guess that's how it started, and I think that's what keeps us strong.
I mean, I don't know if I'm like I don't know if I wasn't insecure. Like I mean, I'm sure I was, but I don't know.
For both of you, I could, or from my perspective, I think you guys have confidence.
Well, I will say
I don't
this.
envy, but like I care to have.
I will say this though.
So you're
like,
envious.
Because for me, like school, like I kind of had to enjoy school because school was very, very important because like my mom wanted me to do well. So like school was like the goal. So like it didn't really matter about like socializing outside of school, all that stuff. Like that didn't matter. It was like you're going to school to learn and to like that was like like the way that I was brought up. So I would have hated school if I didn't have that mindset of enjoying it. So I had to. So for me, like my whole focus was just like going to school, doing well, coming home, you know, doing my homework and stuff like that. Like that was like the way I saw it. So like all like that social stuff, like all those social pressures and feeling, you know, like being bullied. And I mean, I generally wasn't even bullied in general, but like all that stuff, like it wasn't even like really part of my experience because I was so focused on just doing well in school. So it wasn't really. Yeah, like my focus wasn't on all that other stuff.
You just agreed to being a bully, just so you know.
I don't even know what he just said. What did he say?
Me and Hassan, I think, had our fair share of being a bully. I think
Hassan was a massive bully.
Me and Hassan, I think, teamed up pretty badly in certain aspects of high school. To
You mean Akira?
Yeah, Akira.
To bully who though? Like just in general, or
I don't know. I just feel like me and Hassan were very devious, or Akira. We were devious.
Yeah, no, y'all were. I mean, the first time I met him, because the first time I met him was before high school, and I met him through one of our mutual friends. Like he was like, "Oh, this is Hassan," and I was like,
"I think story time's pretty much over. I think it's time to wrap it up."
Oh, you think?
Yo, but Hassan or Akira, I still don't know the day
like how
we met. I still don't know how we met.
Yeah, actually, I don't know either.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. I introduced you to, because I was friends with.
Do you remember where? Because I remember he was in my health class.
I was
he
friend.
I was
good.
Fucking
I was good. I was good friends with both of you, and I remember bridging the gap between a lot of those people, like the Hassans.
The almighty Todd.
No, I just remember like
the bridger of friendship.
It's not almighty, but I had different friends of like groups of friends. I had the soccer kids, which was like you, Gabe, whatever. I mean, I didn't make the team because I fucking suck dick, but I played soccer outside of high school with you guys. And then I had friends like Hassan and like Kelsey and Jordan that I made through like just meeting them in high school. And then I also had the friends I made, Omer and Adnan, just because they were on my fucking locker.
Didn't we just say like chill with the names?
That's true.
Whatever, dude. No one's gonna listen this long. But anyway, they.
I mean, we hope they do.
But my point is,
I
my
doubt
point
I'm
is,
gonna make it this far if I listen back to this.
my point is, I remember bridging some of those relationships together. Even you with like Omer and Adnan, Gabe. I feel like there was a bridge.
Me and Omer actually were kind of friends, and we were in science class together, but not really. Like, I'm sorry, we're naming names. I can't even. But yeah, I've always liked Capo. Adnan, he's a cool man. I don't know if I consider him a friend.
I think we solidified friendships in track, and I think Todd, you are right. Kobe. I think you're right in the sense that you were like you introduced me to like the Sellums wow, fuck. You introduced me to a group of people,
Boy,
and
Selim Loki's gonna love that. Oh, that's a shout out. That was me.
he's
But
gonna get,
also-
he is
but
gonna
also,
get gassed.
I think it's important to know the only reason me and Akira ever became friends is because he tried to make me fucking snort fucking get high on fucking highlighters in the back of the class.
Just to be fair, they were scented markers, so it made sense to say.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't. They
No, they were. They were the scented markers, bro.
I was so
literally just
innocent,
the
and he
rawest
literally.
of Sharpies, the fucking big
I'm
one that
sitting
will
there-
literally get you at the highest of high. Have you
I'm
ever
sitting at my
smelled that
desk.
thick ass Sharpie, bro? You'll die.
I love
I'm
that
sitting,
smell. I'm a
sitting
crackhead.
I'm sitting at my desk, all covered up, all antisocial, and this kid just starts poking me like, "Hey, you wanna snort these markers with me?" And I was like,
Yo, you're
"Yeah,
painting
dude,
me to
I
be
do.
such a
Yes,
crackhead.
Yes, I do. I actually do want to do this with you." And then we had a fantasy basketball team, and then me and Akira became,
Yeah.
And then I spilled ketchup on him during lunch
It's
one
ketchup.
day, and
It's ketchup.
I spilled ketchup on him. Fuck you, Gabe. I spilled ketchup on him in the middle of lunch, and I felt so bad because he got so angry at me, but he didn't want to show it. And I remember that day till the day I die.
I remember us grinding in Spanish together. I
remember grinding anything possible to get me to pass that class, dude. You were literally doing sign language behind her during the final to help me fucking speak.
Bro.
Dude. Also,
No,
we,
that was collective.
we had a fake job
no.
at we had a
Okay.
fake job at Rita's. That
Yep.
was awesome. That
Yep.
was-
Wait,
that was pretty
Chicharon,
good.
how did we meet?
I honestly, it's a blur. I don't
I
even.
thought you guys were
Was that
friends.
through soccer?
Todd,
Jordan?
we met at the lunch. I remember we sat at the same lunch table, and then we started getting close like that. I don't know. I couldn't. Hassan and Akofa.
Like no, because like
I don't know.
were we friends before we had Spanish together?
I think we knew of each other, but that
Like, we just
probably
knew of each other, right?
That probably
You guys played
solidified it.
soccer. I mean, us three played soccer together.
No, but I didn't know. But I never played with
Because
him
I didn't
he
play
was good.
freshman. Yeah, I didn't play.
Yeah,
freshman
he was
year.
too good. I couldn't play with him. So that was the thing. But the
That's
thing
true,
though
that's
was
true.
that when we had Spanish together though, the kid with the frosted tips was in our class, and that's how we kind of all.
I want you guys to name drop him so bad.
No, that's what I'm gonna call him. 'Cause he's
I think it's better that
It sounds
we
like
call-
Voldemort, the kid with
I
the
think-
frosted tips, like a legendary.
Yeah,
fucking
like you can't say
folktale.
his name.
The kid from InSync, yeah, the kid.
hated it because he hated it
NSYNC's
when
bit
that he had
fucking
that.
member that no one knows about.
Yo, we're still bullying. Everyone denied being a bully, and we're just
But
bullying.
now it's okay.
Wait, I never,
I wasn't a bully. I just said I wasn't a bully.
I never denied being a bully, son. You made me a bully. Together we became a ultimate.
Yeah,
bully.
I was not the bully. I stood up for myself. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I stood up for my friends.
You were a bully.
I'm the smallest person in the world. There's no way that I was a
Words still hurt.
Yeah,
Mentally, bro, you
that's
were-
even exactly.
you just-
mentally so much worse.
Hassan, you just
When
Akira,
you're
you just
small-
you just said you did a 6-month thing of playing I Believe I Can Fly to a girl. That's literally mental manipulation. That's a form of bullying.
That's psychosis.
Hmm?
The
That's
definition of it.
funny.
It's not
Just don't
funny.
know.
It's not
You
fun.
don't know the
It would be fun. It'd be funny if it lasted a day.
Did
gets
she
to the
laugh?
point-
Did she
No,
laugh
it's-
for 6 months?
Silly
She
goose.
did.
She did that for
Yeah.
6 months.
No, she didn't.
Then you
No,
guys
she
had,
did. She did. No,
then
she
you
100%
guys
did.
had a lot of chemistry, and that's how we ended right there.
and she felt
That's-
obligated to have that chemistry.
That's why I'm.
and then
that's why
she
I'm
wants
still
to
there.
burn you in a fire.
That's why I'm still there, man. That's why I'm still there.
Hey, y'all. It was a podcast. This is the Backpack Boys here.
Oh, by the way, I actually came with an idea. No, this is just I came with an idea for our.
This is
logo.
going in. Go ahead.
If we're, I came with an idea for it.
The
Just end it,
outro?
We'll talk
The
about
outro?
it.
Huh?
Like for the outro? What do you mean?
No, because we were talking about logos earlier. Okay, well, then-
Oh, yeah. Everybody draw some low if you have some time.
Wait,
Well,
can I actually end the podcast though, and then we can talk about it?
Yes. Well,
I
I'm
did
not
that.
gonna. I'm not gonna cut it. So this is going in it.
Well, you cut it. You
What?
cut in the beginning though, right?
That's true. I guess I could cut the end.
Yeah, just cut it.
That's no fun.
All right.
Why
Well,
can't you
this
just
is
end
in
it?
it though, but until he makes the ending. So what we're doing right
Okay,
now.
so shut up and let him finish.
All right.
Eh.
I want to end the podcast on a quote from DMX that is really kind of important to me, and I think I've been fucking with it heavy. And it
What about dog-
goes, Amen. It goes, always trust everyone to be themselves, but trust in the fact you can see them well. It takes too much energy not to trust someone. You always have to stay 2 steps ahead of them. So trust people to be them. Trust a snake to bite you. Trust a liar to lie to you. Trust a thief to steal from you. And trust them to be them, but know them when you see them. And that's what I
That
wrote.
was genuinely. That was his.
That's one of his last quotes.
What a guy DMX was. I just respect the fact that he actually at one point convinced me that he believed he was actually a dog. And that alone is when you're that passionate and you're that powerful, dude. Like that shit alone is legendary.
Was he actually like? I don't know. I don't have any. Was he super smart, or was he? Where was he? Besides being an icon in the music realm. 'Cause that sounded very.
Yeah, there's a lot of meaning behind a lot of the words that he says, and they aren't. He doesn't even view it as rapping or lyrics. He views it as poetry. And it's always how he's viewed it. So
Wow.
yeah, just want to know that quote sat with me for. a
I
couple
got
of
to
days.
see him. I think his last tour. I
That's
saw him
so
perform
fucking
before him.
Oh, you saw him. Nice.
Yeah, that was a
That's
beautiful
so cool.
experience. It was the saddest experience of my life, but one of the most beautiful at the same time.
Why-
You could
why
just
that?
tell how enslaved he was. You could tell he didn't want to be there. He kept looking back. I have to do this. I have to climb up this fucking thing and shout and shit. It was sad. It was great man.
Yeah.
Enslaved.
Where the hood at?